Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Street Fighter V fans all over the world. It's time for Street Fighter League Japan, where we get to witness even more of the gruesome battles week after week. It's been quite a long journey, and guess what? We have a little bit of a switch up. Yo, joining me today, instead of St. Cola, it's the one, the only F-word. Yo, first and foremost, before I ask how everything is, you know, we've talked about this week in, week out, with all the teams going right into it, and the leaderboard as is now. What are you looking forward to the most with this week's team battles?
Well, look, I just want to make sure I've got my numbers right here. I'm looking at what I'm looking at. I think we've got some runbacks coming up, right, with some of the matches we're seeing. So if I am correct about that, I'm just really interested to see how the teams switch it up from being home one time and away one time. Now they're going to be home on the other side, able to counter pick. Again, I'm really struggling to see the Japanese really utilize this format. It's all about pride. It's all about who's feeling like they want to be Dan. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to seeing if that changes now, because, you know, I don't want to give it away, but we know we're going to see Kumamoto today. Will they make some adaptations from what happened last time? Now they're going to be the home side. Only time will tell. That's what I'm really interested in seeing. And thanks for having me as well.
Yeah, for those that are... No, absolutely. And for those that are just new to the format of Street Fighter League, to kind of refresh you guys, the current format has both a home and away side. The team on the away side will place their order with their respective character up first, which then allows the team on the home side to plan their strategy around that order where potential counter picks can happen, which we've talked about. The prize for everything is 8 million yen on top of being sent out to play against the champs of both Street Fighter League EU as well as Street Fighter League US. And for this first battle coming up, it is V6 plus FAV going up against Sai Shunkan Seoul Kumamoto.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. These guys are pretty close on the tables, right? They're not miles away from each other. I think V6, when the season started, I was expecting them to be the team to challenge Good 8 squad, because Good 8 on paper doesn't look like the most explosive squad, but they're just so consistent in this team format. And we saw them last season. We're seeing them do it again this season. I thought right on their heels would be V6. Not been the case, has it, Vicious? Not at all. V6 trailing second from bottom at the moment. I mean, for that squad to be second from bottom, I mean, you got Evo champions on that squad, you got Capcom Cup champions on that squad. It's just crazy to me, but that it is what it is. You can't predict these things.
It's very wild to see it, but I mean, it's still, you know, we're not even quite there yet. We still have those battles to go. Instead, we're going to see Sai Shunkan Seoul Kumamoto stepping up to the plate to face off against the Wonder Team. Starting things off with the Violet Emperor, that is Nemo, guiding the pack, followed by Higuchi, one of the prodigies of the Street Fighter V scene in Japan, rocking that guile as well. Of course, to follow suit, the little devil, it's Shuto, with another Urien to back it up on the squad. And it ain't no team without the Hermit of Shimane. Why I see Mochi and that ever-impressive Dalsim.
Yeah, one hell of a squad, man. I think they've got a great balance of characters. We've seen them pull off some big wins. If they put those characters in the right place, you know, especially when they're playing from home, I see them being very difficult to beat. I still think Nemo's in a bit of a dilemma. You know, we saw the Urien come back out, look much better, but who they up against today, Vicious?
We have the V6 plus FAV Gaming with the surest spear, the strongest halberd, that is Sako Noko, followed with the Genius Pro Gamer, the tried and true. It is Tokido coming at you with that Luke. Of course, following through, Papa Bonchan, the power of twins, the executor of justice, coming in with pure judgment. Another Luke on the table. Of course, the subspace, the super space, Sansara, Torimeshi, the Warlord Dalsim to round things out. Pretty intimidating if you ask me. 2 Lukes, a Dalsim, and an ever-impressive Minot. For this squad, it is definitely going to be one of the strongest battles that we're expecting to see this week.
This is the thing, this is what I really liked about this squad, is not only the strength in characters, but the balance, the strength and variation of characters. The Menat, the Dalsim, the Keep Out, the Counter, the Rust Down characters. And then they got the Rust Down characters of their own, you know, they got they can overwhelm you too. All right, we're going to see the orders now. I love this part of the season. Looks like we're going to have Higuchi going first with Guile. They're going to put Mochi up second. All right, usually you don't see... This is a very big dynamic. I think when we get to USA and US, USA and Europe, we're not going to see the Dalsims and the Menats put themselves forward like that to be counterpicked. But in Japan, it's a totally different mentality. They will throw that character there, and they don't really care what player you throw on. If they're feeling it in the moment, they're going to put it on. And finally, locking in, staying with Urian following the last few episodes, it's going to be Nemo for the 20 points. Vicious, for those joining in late, this point system is very interesting as well. You mentioned that there's a home and away format, but there's different points on the line for each match, isn't there?
That's correct. Yeah, the teams actually play their matches out in a first and second matches being 10 points each. Both of them also being a best of 3. The third match, the ever important third match, however, will be a best of 5 awarding 20 points to the winner. If both teams tie in points, both teams then send in one of their players in a 1-to-1 sudden death battle worth 5 points that will be awarded to the winner, thus breaking the tie. So it's pretty important to get as many points as you can, because if it ends up in a tie, you end up with a max of 25, right? Because if you get some of these big wins, say if you get like a 30-point game or a 40-point game, what's also really important, not only does it skyrocket you to the leaderboard, like up the leaderboard, but it's also preventing a lot of points on the table for that team, which really is a big deterrent from coming back.
Yeah, it's a huge factor, and we're seeing Good 8 squad have done a tremendous job at manipulating and capitalizing on the system in that exact way. Vicious 160 points at the top clear now. I mean, absolute mountain to climb for Seoul Kumamoto, 80 points away from them, only half the amount. And now they're going to have a team that's only 20 points away from them in V6 with 60 points going up against them. A 40-0 needed, I think, from both sides. But I'm always down for a 20-25 because it means it went down to the wire.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting start off here between both teams. Right? Tokido going in with Luke against Guile. Now, I expect you see this across the pond, or where you're at currently. Tell me a little bit about, like, one, how often you see this particular matchup, and two, how do you think this goes?
It's actually one I've seen a lot of guys saying they feel quite comfortable with. Luke is a very strong character, but I don't feel like he overwhelms that many characters in the game. He's just very unforgiving and extremely momentum heavy. You know, you can be dominating him. He gets one confirm to the corner, huge damage and stun. You know, it's not necessarily an oppressive overall game. It's just the risk versus reward in him. It's super difficult to deal with. Whereas Guile can mitigate a lot of that game plan. So I don't think Luke loses this by any means. I mean, Guile loses. Yeah, he's got ways around Guile, but I feel like Guile can play the game and slow it down and kind of mitigate a lot of what Luke's looking for. So we'll see how Higuchi plays that. Now, Higuchi's play style, however, may get, like, this is just my assumption because I've seen them play a few times, could get him killed very quickly because Higuchi's not the most keep out heavy. He's very good at getting in his opponent's face, catching them by surprise. And when they think he's playing keep out, he's playing rush down. That could get him killed because when you do that against Luke and it doesn't go your way, it's momentum, it's corner, it's done, you're dead. So it's very hard to call.
Yeah, I think you have the right idea when it comes to the player matchup as well as the character matchup. I think Higuchi is one of the more aggressive styles that we're used to in regards to how the Guile is played out. And I think Tokido, there's going to be a lot on his table in regards to trying to keep that out. He has to play a lot of active defense, I feel like. And I hope he's really accustomed to uppercutting on the keyboard, or on a hitbox, because he might have to rely on that. I've seen him stream a couple of times. He has missed a couple of cross-cut DPs. I don't know if that's the kind of tech Higuchi is planning to implement if he gets himself stuck in the corner, but we'll see. When that situation happens, I'm going to call it out right now, we might see an opportunity where Tokido misses a crosscut DP, and I'm going to blame it because the lack of exercising the crosscuts on hitbox. I'm calling it right now, but as it stands right now, Higuchi had exclaimed that he was expecting Tokido, so he's practiced and prepped. He's hoping to win this very standard. Tokido coming out with a vengeance, by the way. He lost 0-40 from the last time they were up on deck for team battle. So they would like to win this and change the mood of the team.
Listen, this is a great example of what I see in the Japanese dynamic that I think is very different from the other regions. You put yourself forward as a Guile, you expect a Luke. But if you come to our regions, and I think it might be the same in yours, right? If I see a Guile come forward against a team with a Dalsim, the team with a Dalsim is, unless that Dalsim needs to play anchor to guarantee the points, the team with a Dalsim is just going to throw the Dalsim on. But it's that Japanese pride, that honor. Not only do they know that I'm not going to get Tomiyasu here, even though I think that's a favorable matchup for Dalsim, he also knows that it's going to be Takedo, it's going to be Luke, and he's going to come out this matchup that isn't necessarily an easy one for Luke. So it's all about pride, it's all about honor. It's so fascinating watching these guys make these selections. It's just so different from what I'd expected to see, but it makes sense here in Japan. We're going to see how it goes down any moment now. And like you said, the pressure's on Takedo after what happened last time. I mean, 0-40, second from bottom. On paper, one of the best teams in the squad, second from bottom in the league. I mean, this first game has humongous implications, Vicious.
Without a doubt. And I'm glad, kind of taking off the subject a little bit, I'm glad you mentioned the fact that Dalsim is on the OA side, and you were kind of asking about the strategies of what the US players would implement. I'm going to give you a big spoiler alert, Femi. There are no Dalsims in Street Fighter League US.
Get out of here. None?
Absolutely none. I kid you not.
You guys need to check the tier list, man. When did USA become honest? That's the first.
It became Street Fighter Luke is what it is. No longer Street Fighter League. It is definitely Street Fighter Luke in the US.
First game of the day. What should I say? Battle. Takedo versus Higuchi.
We're taking a look at a lot of activity coming from the side of Takedo in terms of like the counter poking. I think we were talking about him being active on defense to defer Higuchi, but yeah, Higuchi's not even trying to hear any of that.
Great anticipation of that dash. The one dash just got completely checked. Not even counter hit. He checked the dash mid dash. Stopped him straight away. Nice time jumping, but he's jumped out straight away in the corner now. He's lost a bit of health, but he's got him cornered. It's a good situation for Takedo.
That's the plan of escape. No, he's keeping him locked down. Again, medium kick has gotten a lot of mileage for Takedo despite being at the life deficit. I like his containment against Higuchi right now. That's a throw. What happens? Plus frames on the roundhouse. Look at this. The amount of pressure. Still, it's not going to deter Higuchi from throwing these booms, though.
Throwing it from an unreactable range as well. But he's got to watch out for that down forward roundhouse. Oh, nice. He gets a knockdown. 2 dashes. Wake up the X straight away. Going to look to activate. Oh, he catches him trying to approach. Takedo went for another throw perhaps there, Vicious. I'm not sure. Whatever it was, the overextension didn't pay off and Higuchi caught onto it. He takes the first round.
I love the fact that Higuchi is just playing in this corner so flawlessly, right? Even though he has his back to the wall, he's still playing the life lead game very well. He's throwing out a lot of sonic booms to test Takedo, and then every so often, he'll just stop chucking booms for like 4 seconds and then start playing normals. It's been very on and off with Higuchi, but in a great way.
He's very good at going in and out of that crouch medium kick range, and I'm actually surprised not to see Takedo go for crouch medium kick a bit more when he's within that range. Looking for that confirm, just catching something. There he is trying that one time. He's not really had a chance to utilize. I think Higuchi's playing a great spatial game here.
Yeah, again, Guile's walk speed is such a big tool and a deterrent against the crouch medium kick. That is just so much damage. Higuchi pretty much playing it all across the board perfectly. You mentioned this earlier, man. Guile doesn't seem to have a bad time against Luke, and we're seeing that right now blatantly, but now here comes the damage. Watch out now.
Oh, you're kidding me. We spoke too soon, Mr. Skip the game. Oh, he got it. He ate the throw. He ate the jump. He made the throw in. That's the worst. Oh, that sucks for you. Takedo finally got going in what has been a very uphill first battle. Gets some momentum in the corner. Reads right. Punishes the V shift. And then the jab, unfortunately, counter hits. So he dies.
You gotta be kidding me,
Higuchi. But this is what I'm talking about. You see what I mean about Luke? I mean, the matchup doesn't matter that much, right? You're seeing Guile's getting most of the hits, Guile's controlling most of the spacing, Guile's like keeping him out, playing at his. It doesn't matter. He just needs one opening. As you saw, 2 reads in a row. Suddenly, he was 1 hit from stun. Very unfortunate that jab counter hit as well, Vicious.
Yeah, I actually can't believe it. It was a guess for game scenario, and Higuchi actually guessed right. And it was right enough not to just like maybe counter whatever it is that Takedo was. Like, yeah, exactly. Inadvertently actually got the W, right? I think that was one of those moments where he thought throw was coming. It would have maybe been a tech from Takedo, but no, Takedo didn't expect that. He was maybe thinking this guy has the spirit of Daigo Umehara in him. He's going for the EX flash kick. I feel it.
Yeah, and in his mind, he's like, you think I'm going to flash kick because I'm going to wake up with a button. So they were both wrong, I guess, in a sense, but it worked out in Higuchi's favor. So listen, big first game. You've seen Takedo being very patient, trying to gain. I think I only saw 2 jump attempts that entire first battle. Straight away, we're seeing a jump now. So is there a change in strategy coming, Vicious? Time will tell.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of a... I can't really tell if that was technically like a reactionary jump to the sonic boom, because it's very difficult to call that. But I will say again,
no, I
jumping
think it's just jumps, but it's good to have it in your strategy though, right? It's good to have it there as a...
That makes sense.
He didn't really take to the air enough.
That makes sense. I do agree to that. I think there hasn't been enough of testing Higuchi in regards to the anti-air department, but as it stands right now, Tokido doesn't need to rely on that, does have the corner. You know, it's exactly right there. DP.
Oh, great. He wants to get out of the corner straight away. That's his response.
Ooh. Nope.
Oh,
there
my
it
days.
is.
You're kidding me. Higuchi,
Oh,
please.
there it is again.
Stop. No, he had it.
He had it. Oh, it's time to guess. What a block on the overhead.
He had the jump.
So close.
He hesitated.
It's so close.
No one's got any health. Tokido trying to get his first round of this battle. Oh, so bad.
It's so close. One touch, man.
One touch, man.
Oh,
I like it. Oh. No more switching up. There it is. No, yes, time. Tokido, that is actually a complete trade. But the speed on that sandblast, getting the advantage for Tokido to get himself his first round. Is that the momentum changer? Okay, first time we're seeing a craft medium confirmed mid-screen as well. Had one in the corner earlier. Has him cornered earlier, little expense. This is a huge change up.
Yeah, Higuchi, he's going to be fighting out of this corner. He has to make love to down back at this point. Again, shout-outs to Yipes, of course, and Lee Chung. That is the classic. But I will say Higuchi has done a great job of fighting out of the corner. Expecting the jump out. Very smart for Tokido to back off. And expecting the EX flash kick.
That is a dead loop. Oh, what? Oh, no. What's going on? It's all gone pear-shaped, mate. What on earth is this?
Did you say it's all gone pear-shaped?
Yes, it's a classic British saying. Oh, my face stop! Oh my goodness, how is this round still on? Oh, he's gonna get... Yeah, I'll tell you what, he needed that. Because if he'd have flopped that after he had the round one and missed his punish, and then Higuchi just went flash kick maniac and still survived. Wow, that was a messy second round of the second battle, but great play there from Tokido. One apiece, change up confirmed. What's he changed there? What have you noticed there, Vicious? I think there's been a few more jumps. Not clean jump into the booms, but I'm seeing the air being approached a bit more than it was in the first game. But what else has changed there to get him this momentum?
I think there's a little bit more bulldogging from the side of Tokido. One of the biggest factors we've noticed, and a big factor that Luke's implement, is catching the low medium kick in regards to like checking somebody's movement. There was a couple of times over where Higuchi had utilized Guile's movement to kind of bait out the low forwards. I think it's because Tokido had kind of micro-walked backwards in anticipation for Guile's normals. So if you notice in that, especially like the last round, he hasn't been giving up as much space, right? He's just been kind of like lowering himself. He's been crouching and just waiting for Higuchi to get into that space. He's not even trying to react to Guile's normals anymore. He's actually bulldogging Higuchi to the corner, one, and also standing his ground for the low medium kick. That's two.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with how little life he lost to get Higuchi to the corner those two rounds. So he's definitely got the read on not the clean jump to hit, but the jump to like catch the boom where you can't flash kick. Great spacing on that stand medium. Look at this. Yeah, he's backing out of that range where Higuchi was very comfortable. Higuchi was staying in dash range earlier and just controlling Tokido. Now Tokido's like occasionally just backdashing out of that range to reset the pressure. Again, he's going to the corner without too much health taken. Really good play from Tokido, yeah, but Higuchi, as you mentioned, Vicious, very comfortable from the corner.
As long as Tokido bulldogs that space, he's going to be just fine. It's just a matter of now just holding and containing some of these booms. Oh, this is going to be a huge punish.
Big damage. Could have got a bit more there, just to keep it simple. We're hearing the crowd cheer with him. Buttons! Tries the back throw. Saw that one coming. He's been in the corner since the start of this round. Doesn't want to use the CA, just puts the boom on the screen. What trade?
You see when Tokido
great confirm.
You're actually dead. So going into it, yeah, that's going to be a kill no matter what. Did you notice where Tokido would walk up? he would do micro walks 2 times over just to kind of tease the idea that a low forward isn't coming to like bait maybe a normal or like move it.
I didn't notice, but I'm gonna pay attention now you said that.
Yeah, he was doing that a bunch. You saw like a little routine going. He would do micro walk, and then walk forward again, micro walk, and then go forward again.
Much better starts of the round from Higuchi. He's not giving up space, and he's taking health away from Takedo. Takedo now implementing dashes to try and change the momentum. That down forward or down back roundhouse hasn't got any success yet, but that's specifically for the start of Sonic Booms. Ooh, could have been an EX. Oh, again, a great jump in, punishes the V-shift. Wow, he done it again.
The big saving grace from Higuchi utilizing that EX flash kick at the right time. Man, yeah, we got the fancy stuff.
Jeez. Specific for the range as well. Nice V reversal. I like that. Oh, did he get a kill? Could have killed there. Oh, just gonna go for the chip. Yeah, it's guaranteed anyway. Yeah, just do it. I like the idea. I like it. Close it out. He's doing it really well. This is to the wire, man. If this is anything to go by, Vicious, we've got one hell of a set on our hands. This is game point, both players.
If I'm a stats person and I'm a gambler at the same time, I would think, I would bet on Luke because of the fact that 2 bars is on deck. But I will say, my heart feels Higuchi. Like, Higuchi has not been hit with any of these low forwards for the big damage. Look at this. He's just been holding his ground, still steady and threatening that range. He's doing so well against Takedo within the mid-range.
Yeah, he's cornered now eventually, but he's taken more than a quarter of life to get there. So it's been an expensive approach there from Takedo. Oh, that jumping doesn't work though. Oh yeah, again he eats the jab and he gets a counter hit. Big change up, huge damage. Is he gonna let him out the corner? Oh, he went for a tick throw. Takedo needs something big here. He needs an opening. He's got the meter to make this comeback. Looking for that confirmed stand medium activate. He activates on block. Oh, he tried to do a run, that didn't work. There you have it. Higuchi closes it out. Takedo's attempt to redeem himself has fallen short as Higuchi gets the victory for his team in that first game. 10 points on the board. And Seoul Kumamoto moved from 80 points to 90 points. And as you mentioned, Vicious, not only important for them to pull away with the 90 points, but also to keep V6 on 60 points as it stands.
And it's super impressive, too, the way that Higuchi had adapted pretty much to every single round as he played against Takedo, right? That low-medium kick, if there was a specific stat in the league as to how many low-medium kicks Luke has landed, I think he would have the best record in regards to how many have not landed. I think Higuchi has done a great job countering that normal alone, and he revolved his game plan around that normal pretty well.
I feel like Takedo is almost a bit too honest with that button, though. Like, he hardly whiffed it as well. It's not like he was pressing it loads and it was just being blocked or being whiffed. He just didn't really use it. He just did. If he was not in a comfortable position to utilize the normal, he doesn't try and use it, Whereas Higuchi, man, we saw all sorts of buttons whiffing, all sorts of buttons hitting, but that's how you play Gar, man. That's how you play him in this particular matchup. So well done to him. Some statistics here to go through. Vicious, remind me what these are again, because I know it's in a certain order. My Japanese sucks. Talk to me.
Hey, you're good. So the first one is the character used. The second one is the game's won in the best of 3. The third one is the important one, right? The anti-airs. 2 out of 3 anti-airs from the side of Takedo, 4 out of 8 from the side of Higuchi, followed by the EXDPs. Pretty much invincible reversals, actually. That stat 100%. We saw the EX rising uppercut. 2 out of the 3 have landed for the side of Higuchi. Not too bad. And then, of course,
expensive.
The grab.
That's actually huge.
It's very expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
The success rate of grabs is the last one, right? 2 out of the 5 have been teched from Takedo. 4 out of 10 have been teched from the side of Higuchi. I think that's how it is.
Exact same percentage. Yeah, exact same percentage. I mean, they were both happy to take the throw more often than not, which is, I think, should be your strategy in Street Fighter 5 in general. But man, those wake up reversals, only 3, but 2 of them hitting, because it sends you full screen, doesn't it, Vicious? I mean, it costs you all your momentum. Gets Garl out the corner. So yeah, just getting hit by 1 even out of 3 is expensive, let alone 2. So that played a big part in the match as well. Great play from Higuchi.
Yeah, you get so much out of that too. You get to reset your strategy, you get to throw out booms, you get to do whatever it is you want. If you want to actually close the gap, you are able to because of the impressive walk speed that Guile has. Definitely above average. So yeah, it's very versatile in regards to like the options you get afterwards, and the risk reward I think are pretty well balanced. But moving on, right? This is the question we had in mind. Like, what do you do when you have to face off against Mochi just sitting there as Dalsim on the away side?
Dalsim Mirror? I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting, man. They don't have a solid counter pick. Have we seen the answer? Who is it? I saw your face, Vicious. Talk to me.
It's Tori Meshi.
No way. They didn't.
Actually called
They
this.
didn't.
This is actually going to be.
Oh, this is going to be a treat. If there's one matchup you never see in Street Fighter 5, never see, it's the Dalsim mirror. But if you have been lucky enough to see it, it is one of the wildest mirror matches you will ever see in Street Fighter history. Most Dalsims I speak to hate it. They say it's ambiguous as hell. It's so difficult to know what's going on and to control. It's all about crazy risk taking and like mad anticipation. I cannot wait to see this. This should be one hell of a treat, guys. Wow. Vicious, did you see that coming? Did you see the Dalsim being picked?
I didn't even think about it until you had mentioned it. I'm like, oh my God, that's actually a possibility. I didn't actually think it was going to come true. I really didn't. In fact, the only person that was so sure of this matchup coming was YHC Mochi. In fact, he said, I expected him. I can't be beaten. I will get this. It's like, that's like Vini Vini Vici, right? It's like, I came, I saw, I conquered. I feel like from the words of YHC Mochi.
I respect it. And listen, as much as I would say, especially this season, Tori Meshi's probably been, for me, from what I've seen, the more superior Dalsim in terms of his performances and results. I might be wrong about that. I haven't seen every episode. But what I've seen, he's been incredible. Whereas I've seen Mochi have a bit of a 50-50 performance so far. Regardless of that, Vicious, if we're talking like who's the daddy of Dalsim, right, in the region, or maybe even in the world in many people's opinions, it's not Tori Meshi. It's going to be Mochi. So regardless of whatever the results have been so far this season, I feel like this is sensei versus student. You know, I just get that vibe because Mochi has been rocking that character and breaking records for over a decade with this character. So, you know, it's a big ask, and he sounds confident. He sounds like he usually gets the better of him if they do play this. We'll see what that's based on.
If we're looking at stats alone in regards to how the performance has been in the league, I think you're right on the money. I think, you know, Tori Meshi has had the better record against YHC Mochi, but it's not like a giant astronomical advantage, I feel like. When it comes to the mirror match, there's just so much that can go topsy-turvy, right? I think YHC Mochi, based on his overall experience, might have the upper hand. And that's just based off of like him fully understanding and being fully aware of what Dalsim is capable of. That's not to take away from Tori Meshi. Again, this guy is a warlord for a very good reason, and he has W's for a very good reason. This guy can pilot Dalsim, one of the very few cats that can pilot this character to the utmost degree. It's just a matter of who can outsmart who in this matchup. I think that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, we see Tori Meshi's feedback here as well. Saying that he didn't go for the loot matchup, but he chose the mirror. He actually put himself forward for the mirror. It's not like one of his teammates said, hey, do you want to do the mirror? He actually said, hey guys, I'll take this, you know? So that's confidence. That's comfort in a very awkward mirror match as well. So, you know, he's not just doing this on a whim. He's doing it because he feels he can win it. But they do now have to think about who they put against the anchor. I guess that becomes more obvious when you look at the players remaining who will take on a Tokido. More importantly for Tori Meshi, they're not going to get 40-0. Totally impossible now. They've lost their first game, right? But if they want to try and close this gap and try and start climbing up that table and get off second spot, they need this game. They can't be in a position of 20-0 down. When you're 20-0 down, the most points you can take away from the whole set is 25, right? It's a totally different ball game you're dealing with. Also, you've allowed your opponents 20 points, your opponents who are already ahead of you. You know, you really need this next one to give yourself a chance of a 30-10. So it's a big choice to put himself on for this next match.
And pretty much like the worst case scenario, if you're down 0-20 and you lose the anchor match, dude, that is the unthinkable.
Wow.
You don't ever want to think about that as the team coming up, right? Especially with the home advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just feels awful. If you are like the home team, you're trying to get these counter picks going and you still walk away with 0 points, which has happened, right? We've literally seen it in week 4 with them being in the home position. They cannot afford to do that 2 weeks in a row, Femi.
Agreed. This is a very, very vital next game for them. I think the pressure is really on Tori Meshi. I'm not sure how well he's going to deal with it. I've seen him do some amazing things in solo and team tournaments. He was part of that triple Dalsim team that won that tournament a few years back as well. So I know he's capable. Just, I mean, if I'm Mochi, I'm pretty relaxed though. I'm like, my team's already got 10 points. We're 30 points clear of these guys at the moment. We're closing in on Nagoya. We're closing in on Good 8 squad. You know, we can afford to lose this, and you know, hopefully Nemo takes out the year. So there's not as much pressure on Mochi. Whereas V6 starting the day second from bottom, then losing their first game to Higuchi. This is a massive second game. They really need this. So Torimeshi's got to pull the magic out. We'll see.
Yeah, indeed. Again, this is
any specific insights, Vicious, for this particular mirror match? I mean, you guys got Dalsim. We got one particular Dalsim. You guys got a couple of Dalsims, right? So I'd expect some knowledge from you on this one, bro.
I think V-Skill 1 is going to be the play here. I think you got to rely on a lot of stasis to kind of like maneuver your way through. But at the same time, I have no idea, dude. I'd have to talk to Art about it or Dankatius.
No shame. No shame, bro. We're commentators. We do this stuff regularly, and I got no shame in saying I got no clue, bro. This is one of the least seen matches in Street Fighter. You just got to be a Dalsim main to know it, really.
Yeah. The only time I genuinely see this matchup is if I see two goobers, Commander Jesse and Dankatius, decide to like kill time.
It's a very good start from Torimeshi. He's been controlling the space quite well, and he's using the dive kick really well, which I haven't seen much dive kick at all from Mochi. I can't imagine dive kick. Oh no, he's got an answer. Standing jab. I was going to ask, what's the answer for Dalsim to that annoying drill? That's too high. Takes his turn back. Okay, corner switch.
It's kind of tough. It's absolutely kind of tough. Right? Like, V-Shift is definitely one of them, but I think Yoga Stasis might be the other. Like, you'd have to kind of catch him like mid-air.
Nice.
Again, it's tough. He's still getting sniped out. Torimeshi has had the answers against drill, against
he didn't block low.
Far. Oh no!
Oh, you cheeky bugger, you. Cheeky. Blocks the slide, recognizes negative frames. Instead of taking his turn, goes straight for it into the overhead. Love it. Torimeshi takes the first round. Okay, bit of a risk there on that slide. Gets punished. You can afford punish to take risks like that against Dalsim early on. His damage is big, but not in those scenarios.
Oh! I thought that would be
Got
enough
punished.
to at least catch a punish on that very shallow drill. But I guess not. Yeah, and the Yoga Gale taking full advantage of that. I love the the V-Shift break from the side of YHC. Does not want to be susceptible to any of the Gales.
You've seen these preemptive crouch mediums from these guys? It's like they know that Dalsim's going to take to the air. EX on the screen. Missed this slide. Okay, gets a hit. That's going to hurt. That should be the round. No, still in it. It's the low. It's not the overhead. Mixed it up. Just goes to try to cheat that. It's even Dalsims don't know what to do against it. Of course they don't.
That is the Mr. Crimson, right? The little stutter step into the standing heavy punch. That's actually kind of messed up.
Oh, I hate you.
Who thought that was a good idea for it to be like...
Oh, Mochi's going in.
Low?
Yeah, I don't know whose idea that was, dude. Bring back the sniper from before, I say. I can't stand these ones. Oh, he thought he was going to V-break. He didn't. This is a great round from Mochi. Look at the turnaround. Oh, how meaty was that drill? Oh, my God.
So deep.
I was looking like plus 20,
What?
bro. The
You know what the messed up
spacing
thing
on
is?
that.
It was deep even as Torimeshi was standing. As he was standing. It wasn't even like an extended hurt box crouching, bro. That was actually that's like not safe for work, I feel like.
That was revolting. Double digits plus, I reckon. And then the delayed throw afterwards. If he'd have gone for a throw straight away, I think it would have still been in block stun. I would have whiffed. It was that good.
More like delayed throw up, that's for sure. It's gross to see. You like that?
Nice.
Ooh.
These preemptive crouch mediums are fascinating, man. I'm learning the matchup as I'm seeing. It's a very good start from Mochi, though, after losing that first round.
I was gonna say that's gotta be sarcasm, right? I don't know, man. Like I hear you. Yeah, these yoga anvils, you see Torimeshi kind of like throwing them out early.
I've learned a little bit. Come on, it's coming to me. I'm definitely not gonna be a master in this craziness. Look at that, he's doing it again. Oh, the drill to the drill. This guy's been hanging out with Logan. Bare drills. Oh, Mite.
Oh, and I love the punish on
punish.
that! You can get a punish on instant Yoga Gale on PD. You can actually Z-shift and punish the recovery. Super smart. Oh!
Really nice, yeah, when it whiffs like that.
Oh,
that's dead! He took a big risk! Why did Torimeshi try that? Didn't want to sit and block the EX. I think he was expecting a teleport to come and just get out of there with the slide preemptively. Man, they're heading towards a 20-0 deficit right now. If Torimeshi can't turn this around. So far, the sensei is demolishing the student. Ooh, I like that.
Very much so prepared for the whiff punishes. Mochi is not, actually. He let that standing medium punch fly.
Oh, he did the medium kick slide. That's actually better.
And I love that response from YSC Mochi, but still not out of it, right? Torimeshi, yeah, he's trying to navigate the fireballs. No, crouching medium punch is the answer for YSC Mochi. V-shift out of there. The coverage from Torimeshi.
Did you see that punish?
So solid. So smart.
Yo, ready for the V-shift. That looks so specific. Oh, and he gets the juggle into the crouch fist. So many matchup specific little tricks from Torimeshi. I love it. Ready for the V-shift with the most optimal punish. Then ready to catch him out of the air. Capitalizing on that jungle state. Now, can he save himself another match point?
He needed it, man.
Oh, he had the hit there.
He needed the juggle state.
Oh, what? When you see that choice? Yo, Torimeshi's going in right now. Yeah, you know what? Raw teleport against Dalsim isn't so bad. He can't really do much to you. Take that medium fuel day.
Imagine that.
Right.
Can't really do much against your primary tool or like one of the trademark moves of Dalsim, the teleport. Wow. Ooh,
oh, what you
ooh.
do? He baited him into a battle he didn't want. Torimeshi looking to make this go to the wire. I want to see another one, actually. I want to see him take this. Close it out. Let's get another one of these. Oh.
About to get your wish granted. And the snipe is there. Everything's A-okay. Torimeshi tying it up 1-1 in a bloodbath of a match. I gotta say, it was pretty tied up in the beginning, but it started to slowly slip away. Torimeshi is starting to figure out the puzzle pieces of YHC Mochi's mind. And I think right now, Torimeshi might be that guy to take it.
Yeah, man, I think the momentum is fully on his corner. I mean, Mochi's win wasn't as convincing as Torimeshi's. When Torimeshi started pulling away, it looked very one-sided. So we'll see what Mochi can do to change it up. Try and slow down this momentum.
And I'm going to say that was a preemptive crouching medium punch to stop the throw. Good call from Mochi.
Might very well have been vicious. V-skill, you know, almost looks like reaction now. But you can't react. It takes a tremendous amount of concentration to be reacting like that all the time. Again, ready, gets the juggle. He looks for it. Again, he's ready. Oh, he gets caught out trying to approach. Didn't get the juggle. V-break. Oh, the pressure, the heat. Oh, that was such good pressure. Catches him low, cooking him up. Torimeshi poised to close this out. Has to block the fireball. Has to be reversal. Raw fire.
Oh, he's saving the rest of the trigger.
He
no,
knows.
Actually, he cannot. I was going to say, like, if he was going to build enough trigger, but he's not. So I thought he was going to do something like, he's going to keep it for defense. But how good is your defense against someone who could give you, like, high-low consistent mix-ups anywhere in the screen?
His pressure's really good. And it seems like very Dalsim specific pressure as well. These guys have clearly played this matchup a ton. Doesn't get the trick recovery, but catches him anyway. Oh, nice, he saw that teleport was fake. Got the trade. Thought the pressure, but nice life lead from Mochi. That hit too early. Takes his turn. Drills in. Look at this huge life lead. We could be going to the wire again here, Vicious. Oh my days.
The mix.
Ah!
So smart.
What?
He's still going for the slide. I
Trying to bring
can't believe it.
He's going to bring it back. Oh, V-break. Empty throw.
Oh, gets
not walking down to do. Dalsim can't do nothing. No, you don't. Oh my days! Wow. I mean, you're seeing the weaknesses of Dalsim really exploited by his own archetype.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Oh. That's a very aggressive start for Torimeshi.
He's going in. Yeah, I agree. Very aggressive. I think he feels like he needs to try and take him out now before he gets any momentum. And it's working out so far. Look at this huge life lead. Mochi's in big trouble. Tick throw. Could be guessed for game here. Oh, base out a stand throw. I cannot be beaten. Torimeshi disagrees as he gets his team 10 points and comes out victorious in the Dalsim mirror match. Hands in the face for Mochi. A smile of embarrassment. It's not his day, but there's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, Torimeshi, such a ridiculously good Dalsim, taking out the sensei there and getting his team some much needed points there, Vicious.
I really want to know, like, if we can get a translation of what both Aru and Nana is actually saying in regard to that matchup, like their pregame analysis and what they thought the outcome would be, because I genuinely think they had their hands up in the air just as many times as we did, because this matchup was completely unpredictable. Starting things off with YHC Mochi, him getting the first game, I did not expect him to go 0-2 afterwards. I did not expect him to lose 2 back-to-back games against Torimeshi the way that he did. That was actually super impressive towards the end. That perfect was like the stamp of dominance from Torimeshi.
Yeah, I mean, to pay out the stand throw as well in the end, it's just like, you know, I mean, who gets shimmied by Dalsim? It's something that doesn't really happen often. So to close out with that, it's almost like an exclamation mark on the victory. Very impressive win. And very important points secured as well for his team. So I'm going to attempt this now, Vicious, starting from the bottom. We got the Frotex, as you mentioned, 1 out of 9 for Torimeshi. Is that correct? So he was there for the throw.
I would imagine so.
Wow, 11% Frotech rate. But we saw Mochi try to throw, but it's hard with that Dalsim walk speed, right? Reversals, obviously, Dalsim doesn't have any. I mean, CA, they never had one. EX is too important. And then what's this one at the second from the top? 13 out of 14. Forgot. Anti-airs. Okay, a lot of anti-airs.
Yeah.
Wow, 13 out of 14 for Torimeshi. That can't be right, no. 13 out of 14?
It depends, man. I gotta say, like, I feel like, you know, it really depends on what they classify the anti-airs as. It could have been preemptive. It could have been like against the drills. Either way, that's a really impressive stat. I gotta check it out for the books.
Yeah, I need to watch something back just to assess it, but either way, it was a high percentage, right? And it ties this up to 10 apiece, and it makes this set that much more interesting. In terms of points now, as we mentioned at the start, So Kumamoto around now 90 points, still 70 points away from good 8, but only 40 points away from Ojo Bodystar, who are in second. And now we get an extra 10 points for V6. That puts them on 70, and of course moves them out of the bottom 2 spot as well, which is super important. Because the teams around them, there's only a 5-point gap between V6 Gaming and Detonation and Gyogun, and Hiroshima only 5 points behind them. Each point shifts that lower half of the table dramatically. Like, they are now literally in 5th from being second from bottom, just with that 10 points. So they can get as many points as they can, keep climbing that table, and start pulling back to the top.
Yeah, again, no matter where you're at in the leaderboards, what you want to kind of focus on is being part of the top, I believe, top 6, because we do have 8 teams. So the top 6 is what you're looking for towards the end to make it into the playoffs, where you know, pretty much get your chance at the 8 million yen prize pool. But what's important about this is, in the leaderboards, you want to have, I think, like the odd number, either like 1st, 3rd, and 5th seed, to have the home field advantage, if I'm not mistaken, with the way that it plays out. But I could be wrong. I think it should be just top 4, and then 5th and 6th are automatically in like a loser's bracket, quote unquote. If it's anywhere similar to like last year's playoffs, but we'll get into that when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for the most part, you're absolutely right. The points matter. Yeah, that's exactly it. We got to see all these points and how it plays out. But it's going to be Sakonoko coming up with Manat. I like it. It's not going to be Bonchan. It's going to be the strongest halberd. Get a little bit of the quotes here. What did Nemo actually have to say in regards to his matchup?
Well, he was actually saying he was expecting Bonchan, like you mentioned. You said Bonchan. He was actually expecting Bonchan. He's actually really surprised and very confident against Manat. So he's actually quite happy to see the Manat matchup. And I know Urian has been an annoying one for Manats. Even when she was a scumbag with the double V trigger per round, a lot of the Manats were like, it's not a matchup she necessarily loses, but quite a tricky matchup, especially when he has the V skill 2 up and he starts approaching her from full. He just goes full screen, gets V skill 2 up, and starts walking her down. And his momentum is so scary. So yeah, we'll see how Sako deals with it. But Nemo sounds very confident. What did Sako have to say about this? Why did he put himself forward? And any feedback on why no Bonchan here? Because Bonchan seemed like the more obvious choice.
I wish I could tell you that. I wish there could have been any sort of feedback whatsoever in regards to the character choices, the player choices, even the matchup. But it's just plain old Sakonoko. You know what it is. I've practiced well, and I will win this. Very, very humble.
Is that all he said?
Very, very straightforward. Oh, that is definitely a quote from the strongest spear. I'm not even joking.
Okay, well, it all comes down to this. I was hoping for a bit more insight into that pick. I mean, this is what I'm saying. It drives me up the wall, but it's also fascinating to watch. Like, if I'm in a team, right, from Western society, like, you know, how we are, we don't give a crap, man. If I see Urian is the anchor for 20 points, my team is going to be sitting down talking about, okay, how do we make sure we beat Urian? Whose character has the best chance? Okay, but in Japan, it's not like that. It's like, you know what, I've practiced, I feel good today, I'll go anchor. Before they even know it's going to be Nemo, you know, so it's like the home away feature. It's not as big a factor in Japan, I'm finding, which is so fascinating, but also really entertaining to watch because you get to see matchups that you don't really see it as often because we like to run away from the bad matchups where we're from. But in Japan, they run towards them face first. I'm not saying this is an example of a bad matchup, but you know what I mean, Vish. So it's going to be Manat versus Urian.
We'll see how it plays out. Again, when we talk about the character matchup itself, I think there's a lot to talk about in regards to what Urian can and cannot do. I feel like Manat is the one with the toolbox of normals, being able to control the space really well from like mid to long range. I think it also matters which V-skill is going to be utilized from the side of Nemo. I'd imagine he'd want to take V-skill 1, which isn't going to be like the biggest determining factor of the matchup, but it sure does help. But what is the great equalizer specifically for this matchup is the V-trigger from both sides, right? Very big comeback potential for both.
Yeah, no, agreed. The defensive implications of V-trigger 1 not as strong now for Urian, but the offensive implications almost identical. So sorry, what is it?
You tell me, man.
You might have to cover me for a bit there, Vish.
You're good.
I'm still there.
No. That was literally me like the last episode because I was having like really bad allergies and I was like sneezing all over the mic. But I'll tell you what though, what's not gonna happen is anybody choking between these two gamers. I gotta say Sakonoko already off to a fantastic start containing the threat that is Nemo the Violent Emperor, but still we're still seeing a lot of Metallic Sphere and a lot of long range normals to contest against Sakonoko outside of the medium ranges, right? This that was such a
perfectly spaced outside that medium range, right? So good. You see why he's confident in the matchup. Oh, that is a big bait. Jeez.
It's so good. It's so impressive the way that Nemo has calculated himself. Yeah. He's just it's the mirror. Setting. Oh, that was so far.
Oh my days. They got a full crouch heavy as well. This whole round has turned around. Second mirror. Just like it was blocked. No, don't press buttons. He's going to continue this. Stop it, Sako. Stop. Oh my days, please. Oh. Good Lord, you gotta be kidding me!
God!
If it wasn't for the SF6 beta and the fact that everyone's playing that right now, I'd be yelling clip that, but I know there's no one to clip it. Wow.
I'll clip it.
Please do.
I got it.
Jeez, that mirror, who would have thought you're gonna die for activating a mirror like that?
I thought it was meaty enough to catch the V-trigger activation against Sakonoko. I thought that was gonna be a punish for Nemo, to be honest.
Yeah, same. I thought it actually caught the activation. Release those orbs. I've got the trade here. Oh, nice confirm. Gonna get another mirror activation here. Got to be careful what he does with the second mirror, though. He died last time. Goes for a throw. Oh, she jumped over it. You got to be kidding me. No, that's it. Oh, Visa's out.
He had it. Oh, he's still
looking. What are you doing?
Oh,
he didn't want to sit still.
Sakonoko. Yo, the V-trigger orbs. First and foremost, I like the idea of Nemo throwing out the mirror as a defensive tool, thinking maybe the orbs would be like, yeah, like I thought the orbs were gonna be like sent back, but even if like that was the case, Sakonoko threw out the bottom 2 orbs to go under the mirror.
Under. Genius.
That was so sick.
And then the angle on the jump was just perfectly over the mirror as well to get the full jump in punish. Man, Sakonoko, he said he's practiced, and we heard him say that, and we heard him when we didn't hear him, because it's like, I mean, you're Sako, of course you practice, but when you see stuff like that, you know what he means when he said he's practiced.
That's so wild. It was actually so ridiculously wild. Sakonoko is just ahead of the curve by like milestones ahead of the curve, man, when it comes to piloting this Manat. Wow. Oh my god.
Jeez, the delay catching Nemo out. He's not dealing with the pressure very well here. Beat him into throw. Just about got away with that backdash.
Oof. Orb no longer a threat. Anti-air. No, he just runs into the metallic sphere.
Oh, gasses him low. That's going to be it. Missed his release. He missed his orb release. It's going to cost him big time. Don't think he can kill here. He's going to get the second mirror. What's he going to do with it? Just a raw sweep into close mirror. But Sako was already mashing out the orb release, as you saw. Clever play from Nemo. That was a specific counter strategy there to go for a sweep. Knocked down so you can't get trade combo.
Exactly it. And it allows you to set up mirror pretty much on top of the body. So either way, he was in a good position for that trade. And Nemo, again, stuck in this corner. Watch out for the explosion. The detonation is coming. No, it's going to be a recall instead. He has to go for the recall now. Yup. Counter hit. Does get it. Sakonoko now in full control yet again.
Oh, beautiful backdash. Into the whiff punish. Oh, that V skill is getting so much mileage. It's just catching Nemo when he thinks he's in a safe space to try something. He's just getting clattered by it. Reset. What's he pressing? Oh, man, Nemo's blocking has been horrendous, I gotta tell you. He's getting hit like in scenarios where there's no mix-up. It's just continuity, and he's just attempting something at the wrong time. Very fidgety on defense.
I was gonna say, like, he's been playing that way every single time he's been up. I'm not gonna lie. I think there's been so many times over where he's lost to like a big counter hit because he was pressing buttons on wake up. EX.
I'm standing just outside sweet range. Again, he's pressing buttons on the callback. I mean, she's not very plus there, but you got to choose your button. Again, that's a lovely shoulder. V skills up. Delayed walk up throw. Oh, it's going to hit on hit. Oh, no, it didn't leave. How is Sako ready? That could be a dead Nemo. If he gets the most optimal combo here, he's going to drain enough health and bring this forward. One more roundhouse. I don't think it's enough. Is it enough, Vicious? I don't think it is.
I don't think it is. I think he's living by his pistol.
Oh my days. He's got that second mirror. Nemo's got to let her back out. Horrible situation for Nemo, but he's got, no, you don't. He tried an EXD. Sako just sticks out the heel. Like, get out of here.
You thought you could do
Where you going?
You thought you could drop your knees to who? I don't know about all that. That was actually a masterclass in both execution and reactions, coming from one of the oldest players in the scene. By the way, this guy's got it all. He is the complete package, but he's also a statistical anomaly, to be fair.
He is, yeah. There's not many like him at all, is there? I mean, he's just a sensational talent, and he is demonstrating why right now in a very important game for V6. 20 points on the line here, trying to close that gap and get higher up the table, and it is looking good here in game 3. Again, buttons at the wrong time. Stun racking up here. He's giving up his V trigger as well. With that V shift, gets hit anyway. Oh, nice. Took 2 taps, then backdashed out.
Yeah,
he really
look at
has.
this control from Sakonoko. Look at the amount of block stun that he puts Nemo in. It's just not any sort of control. Nemo has opted again to save his V trigger. Oh, it could be for moments like these. No, not quite. He didn't even get to expend it. There it is.
There it comes.
Let's see your defense, Sakonoko, without the V trigger.
Nice V shift. And the EX orb. Wow. It is getting harder and harder for Nemo as the set goes on. He said he felt very confident in his matchup. If by confidence he meant pressing buttons and hit stun, I mean, it's definitely not paying off so far.
I agree. I think there was just too much timidity from the side of Nemo, but at the same time, Sakonoko has been really picking his pockets in regards to, look at that. Yeah, the spacing has been so damn well placed. Oh, the trade-off is so much better for Sakonoko.
This is bad. This is set point. 30-10 on the line. Doesn't activate the mirror. Gets it. The crouch medium wasn't into a mirror. He's keeping it again. Here we go. Oh, he was looking exactly for that. Oh my, there's no meter. We're really trying to bring this one back. Knocked down. He doesn't want to block.
That was a full combo. That was a full combo.
Yes, it was. It was a full combo. What are you doing? Why are you throwing high? That's not the right choice. And Sakonoko's brick wall defense, unforgiving offense, closes it out. Nemo had some good momentum there in that last round, really chasing him down. Didn't get the punish on the first V reversal. Oh, wow.
Man. What do you mean you get hit in the face with the orb on call out and recall and still are able to combo out of that? Like, how often do you see that happen?
That's right. The readiness is insane because I think it hit late because it was a backdash. I think so. That gave her more plus frames as she approached. Then pulled it in, which still comboed, and then the sweep, 3 hits. I mean, little moments like that, just like Sako, please. Sako, come on, man.
God. That's the most ready I've seen Sakonoko play, like, thus far. Like, in week 4 and week 3, it looked a little bit shaky. In week 2, he's back to, like, his prime self, I feel like. Even, yeah, so it's weird. Like, in week 2, he was having a great time. Week 3 and 4, he was a little shaky. But this is where we've seen the least amount of errors. Because it's no easy feat just navigating, 1, the Urian matchup, and 2, piloting a character like Minot. It's not. Those are 2 very, very big asks when it comes to this matchup, especially against Nemo. But he played it flawlessly. And I truly mean flawlessly. 3-0? From Sako?
I agree.
Unprecedented.
I agree. Totally clean. I mean, there was a lot of stubbornness on the side of Nemo with his defensive choices, especially in block stun, trying to steal turns back. And it didn't seem like they were calculated choices. He was just getting count hit a lot. So it was just, but Sako, take nothing away from Sako, man. I mean, geez, so unforgiving, so clean, so solid. And a vital point win there. I think there was 20 points between these guys at the start of the day. With that win, I think they go joint on 90 points each now. 10 points to Soka Momoto, and then of course 30 points to V6 Gaming. They fly away from that bottom 2 spot, and they're going to be doing this winning interview with a big smile. Takeda must be feeling great, Vicious, because he actually lost the first game. There's a big thank you from him to his team in elation right now.
Yeah, and you would imagine Torimeshi would have like the bigger smile on his face, but I feel like there's got to be something of the lines of like, you know, I'm really humbled to even play against one of the Dalsim gods, but I knew I would body him.
No,
so
humble's the word, Vicious, man. If you look at that face, that looks like a guy who just lost the match. But that's just his resting face,
true.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
RDF, resting Dalsim face. I get it. I totally get that.
It's a new one. Let's coin it. We'll keep it maintained. Oh, there's a little smile. There you go. Just for a second there.
A little bit. Yeah, we kind of see it shining out of there, you know. I mean, like, it's well deserved. I'd imagine like it's a matchup that he was looking forward to, and he feels pretty damn good about it. I mean, like, what else could really be said? I think there's most of the time it's just like, you know, I feel great. I was prepared, and I'm glad that my practice paid off. But in regards to like the mirror matchup, and I don't mean to sound like a Street Fighter 6 voice line, there's a lot of pride on the line for it. There's definitely a lot of pride that goes onto like some of these mirror matches, right? Especially with a pretty much, I want to just call him a Hall of Famer at this point. Like, YIC Mochi is definitely in the halls of hype in regards to like Dalsim Pioneer.
100%. 100%. Absolute icon for the character. So huge win for him, for not only for his team to get off the table, but also, you know, arguably a sensei, an icon with the character. Puts him. He's already on the map, Torimeshi. He's incredibly good. But that was a huge win. I agree, Vicious. Listen, what are we hearing from the camp? I'm seeing a lot of talk, a lot of chat. Are we getting some translation, Vicious? Any words from Takedo, Torimeshi? What are they saying right now?
So, in regards to what they've actually said and translated, right? Takedo, he was talking about his game, his performance. It was a hot game. The tension was so high from all the cheering. His teammates played so well, so he's super grateful about it. You kind of saw the big thank you towards the end. Torimeshi, we did get a translation in. He said he was certain that he was going to go against YIC Mochi. He was on the home side, so he wanted that to happen regardless. Like, you know, they have the advantage to pick. So he was able to win, and he feels great about it. You saw the little bit of a smile. So, you know, you had to be feeling pretty good. You had the home field advantage. You had to be the one to kind of snipe out the other Dalsim, and it did so pretty much flawlessly towards the end. Bonchan, however, didn't play a single game, and I think he had a little bit of sarcasm to follow through with that. I think he just said, it just so happened that I didn't get a chance to play today. So I'd imagine that was a group decision. But
listen, the decision was fully justified in the end, wasn't it? When you saw the way Sakonoko played. Sorry, you were going to ask me something. Wow, stunning victory. Go ahead, Vish.
No, I was going to say, you know, Sakonoko also had some choice words for himself in regards to like how his teammates kind of fared him up, or at least helped him out during the matchups. What did he say to kind of close things out?
So modest. I mean, I don't know what credit I can possibly give to any of his teammates. Maybe Takedo Urian experience a little bit there, you know, but he's gone ahead and given all the credit to his team. He said, good advice from my teammates means I was allowed to showcase, I was able to showcase that, and we played well, and we'd like to continue to win. So he's like, he's not taking any credit. I'm going to say 10% credit to the teammates. Some of that Manat play was shades of 4 seasons ago, honestly, and only Sakonoko can get her to that level. So that's all him. Well done to him for taking it. Is there another thing he said? Question Sako as Manat did so amazing. No, just the team's over the moon with his performance, rightfully so. So 30-10, they are the victors. V6 plus FAV Gaming climbed their way all the way up to joint third with Seoul Kumamoto on 90 points. Great result.
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Let's take a look at the current stats. Again, a big 3-0 victory from the side of Sakonoko in regards to the anti-air department. You know, 1 out of 3, not too bad. 4 out of 7, even better from the other side of the playing field from Nemo. No invincible reversals. RIP EX headbutt. Good riddance. The grab success rate, 2 out of 6 from the side of Sakonoko, 3 out of 5 from the side of Nemo. Although Nemo had the better statistics, it did not equate to the W. Again, Sakonoko playing shades of Minot's past. I gotta say, this has been his most dominant performance in the league thus far, and I will stamp that. That is absolutely the big stamp of approval. And he even had a closing remark. He thinks that people have been forgetting about Minot, so we had to showcase how strong Minot can actually be.
He's spot on. Yeah, the thing is, she's strong, but there's just stronger versions of her game plan in the game. There's poison and dousing. So you look at the keep out, you look at the rush down. She cannot rush down like those characters can. Her keep out is probably better than poison's, but not necessarily that much better. So, you know, she's just forgotten, but he's just reminding us all that she's extremely relevant and still very much there, especially with that performance against a confident Nemo.
That's actually
his performances. I think I've seen play.
Confident Nemo.
Right? I mean, Nemo said he was like, you want to put Minat against me? So, okay, no problem. I'm really good at that matchup. He was super confident. And yeah, it didn't even get himself a battle. Didn't win a single game. 3-0 loss. Just looking at why that meant so much to Sako, I'm just looking back at the weeks and him playing, and he has had quite a tough season so far. Even when his team's won, he's been on the losing side of his personal performances quite a lot. I'm trying to see if he's got a win prior to today. I don't think he has actually. So.
In week number 3, he faced off against Storm Kubo. He did end up taking that 2-1. Storm Kubo had opted to go for Alex and Dan. So that was kind of like a very significant one, at least for Nemo, but it was also a big wake-up call for Storm Kubo. But outside of that, I don't believe Nemo's got a W.
No, I'm talking about Sako.
Sorry about that.
No, Nemo definitely got a W.
Sakonoko...
Nemo got a W with Urium, right? I mean, his fall is not there, man. It needs a lot of work. No disrespect to such a legendary player, but his Urian definitely got a win, I saw, which is probably the one you're referring to. But Sako, to come out and play like that, having, from what I'm seeing, I'm not sure he's won a game for his team prior to that. So he's not won a game for his team from what I'm seeing. Goes Dan, right? I call it the Dan match, you know, the anchor match, right? For all the chips against Nemo, and gets a 3-0 victory. That win was way bigger than I realized. Now I'm looking back at the results over the weeks.
Yeah, so I think from what it looks like, I think the only W he has had from week number 2, I believe, he had a 2-0 against Moke's Rashid against Team Gyoga. They were on the away side.
You're right.
Other than that,
you're right. But they lost that game.
He's been on a losing streak.
Yeah,
it's really rough.
He's had a tough season. He's had a really tough season. Personally, he lost to Fudo. He got rushed down that game, I remember, in the first game, and then his team went on to win that, so that was good for him. We also saw him the following week. We saw Sako lose to Colleen Kawano, and they got 40-0'd. That was week 4. So yeah, I mean, this was a big win for him. So his second win of the season, thanks for the correction, Vicious. But a very important one, and it shoots them right up the table. Oh man, look at that perfectly angled jump. He did a tiny walk forward first. Did you see that? A tiny little walk forward before he jumped, just to get over. Yeah, Nemo just not sitting still.
you just took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, I was going to reiterate what you had said earlier in that matchup. Nemo just refused to sit still, whether it's on wake up or whether it's in neutral. He actually opted to go for the violent knee drop, and it just was not paying out. I will say there were shades of brilliance in regards to like Nemo's game plan and at least the counter strategies against the V trigger. Like we saw the sweep for the trade-off. That was pretty important. But other than that, I think he just got outclassed. Like it's weird to say that Nemo of all people got outclassed, but that's just the tail of the tape. Like look at how dominant that Sako Noko was performing in this matchup. This was a very close game too. That one pixel away. This is where it kind of confused me. Look at that. Yeah, he caught the backdash and it's still comboed.
That's so good. The readiness is just, yeah. I'm not sure why I did it. A metallic spear upwards there. I mean, Manat's hardly jumped the whole set. But yeah, wow. Really, really nice to see the highlights there of that phenomenal performance there from Nemo. And Manat is still very relevant, still arguably in contention for top 10. These keep out characters are very, very up there this season of Street Fighter. I mean, obviously, we know it's Luke edition, but Poison, Dalsim, they're doing a lot of damage. A lot of people considering Dalsim top 1, top 2 in this version. And then, of course, you got Manat, who's just sitting on the outside, maybe in the top 10 or just outside of it, still very relevant with that keep out game. And Guile's always very relevant too. So these characters,
yes,
they add a lot of dynamic to the game.
I was waiting for when you were going to call out Guile and how you were going to classify him, to be honest with you. I was like, would Guile be considered a brawler because of like how, not brawler in regards to like having a command grab, but I feel like mid to close range, his normals like on paper, statistically like, or frame beta wise, could be kind of a problem. I feel like, I mean, like the mediums are a problem, his lights could be a problem, etc. But as it stands right now, I think you're on the money. I think a lot of the keep away characters or the spacing characters and ranging characters are going to be such a problem. But what is a problem is us not being able to play the beta right now. I gotta say, I've been fiending for the Street Fighter 6 closed beta test.
Dude,
Femi and I were actually playing. Yeah. Oh, I bet. I'd imagine.
Like, wow. Yeah, it's been, I mean, it's everywhere. Listen, I'm happy to be here. This is amazing. But even talking about these keep out characters, it's got me thinking, good lord, I wonder what that's going to be like in Street Fighter 6. Meanwhile, these scumbags are all finding out firsthand, you know? But yeah, all in due course, bitch, all in due course. You've had way more playtime than me. I just loaded up my code this morning. It's what, 1 p.m. now in the UK. I loaded mine up a couple of hours ago, 11 a.m. I had a call this morning. You've been playing since when? Since what, 2 a.m. or so? So you got a lot of game time in, yeah?
Dude, they actually they opened up the floodgates like 30 minutes earlier than the allotted time, actually. So I've been playing, I stopped dinner midway through to just play and stream it, just to kind of like break down the characters extensively with the amount of knowledge I've had since like I think Summer Games Fest. So we've seen the builds kind of go throughout the course of time. But as it stands right now, again, we've had a pretty explosive first game. We're expecting to see how it turns out with Good 8 Squad and Nagoya Oja Body Star and Build on Beast. Again, it's been Vicious and Femi thus far. We will see you on the other side when it comes to game number 2. So hang in there. We'll be back with more Street Fighter League Japan immediately after this. Stay tuned.
佐古さんの目だと面白すぎます。ナイスゲーム、これぞエンターテイナーということで見てる方も大満足。さあそして、ツイッタートレンドに SF リーグ第8位に入りました。
すごい。
ありがとうございます。
皆さんのツイートのおかげですね、これは。
はい、1位目指してハッシュタグ SF リーグで応援コメントの方お願いします。まあね、おーすげーとかいう時もこのハッシュタグ SF リーグをねつけていただくだけで、はい、運営一同我々喜びますのでよろしくお願いいたします。
はい、お願いします。
はい、この後はですね試合準備のため休憩に入らせていただきます。再開は21時17分とさせていただきます。第5節 Day1 マッチ2グッド8スクワット対名古屋王者ボディスターミルダム、こちらの模様をお届けしてまいります。それでは一旦失礼いたします。
ご安全にな。
お、新入りかな。うん、いい顔に撮れてるじゃないか。改めて担当教官のルークだ。よろしくな。
始めるとしよう。勝負だ。投票入りでごわす。手加減は期待しないでくれ。よく来る。おい、ちょうだけじゃ。 Here comes a new challenger. Fighter 6. Scrap heap. Ready. Start.
Hope you guys are staying hydrated and got the snacks ready because we have another banger coming for you with match number 2. Nagoya Oja Body Stars is coming up next, going up against Good 8 Squad. And of course, we got to show off the Good 8 Squad field, right? Again, having that home field advantage is going to be ever so important in regards to the current format, right? With the home and away team. But as it stands right now, it's going to be Nagoya Oja Body Star, aka Mildom Beast, aka another Wonder Team, fusing together to see if they have enough of what it takes to get at least into the top 6. Let's take a look at what the current roster is as we get ready. Here we go. Nagoya Oja Body Star, Mildom Beast starting things off with Akira, the Speed Star, with Lightning Speed Kami. Very, very aggressive playstyle through and through. With Living Legend, of course, Daigo Umehara, the ever-evolving legend, I should say, with Guile, followed by the attack-heavy tank, Udo, being able to rock a multitude of characters, Poison, Armika, now even Luke, and to round it out, Narikun, Nagoya's White Omen, with Akira. Not the player, but Akira the character.
Very curious on that squad then, by your definition, Vicious. But these guys have been the consistent ones that have turned up and really put the heat on Good 8. The only ones really giving them a race. And speaking of Good 8, let's find out who's on their squad as they enter the ring. Of course, defending champs, Gachikun, former Capcom Cup champion, keeping Rashid alive. There he is, ready to go. Pugera, one of the only boxers around playing boxer to this level. I think everyone's trying to catch this guy when it comes to that character. And here he is doing it again in the Street Fighter League. Fresh off his Evo victory, Kawano rocking that Colleen, staying with Colleen regardless of the nerfs. And then, of course, the one and only, man. I love that guy. Love that. And the dictators are still there. You're not seeing them as much as we used to, you know, but they're still there. And of course, Dogura keeping him very much alive with his squad. So they're going to be home, as you said, Vicious, cruising at the top of the table with 160 points, 30 points clear of Nagoya Oja Body Star. If they were playing anyone else in the league this week, it wouldn't matter. They would be top regardless of the result. It's the one team that could actually catch them if they got a 40-0. And here's the order that Oja Body Star Mildom are going to put in.
Yeah, we can see it right here, right? Daigo, Umehara, Akira, as well as Fudo. The character selection is going to be Guile, Kami, and Poison. Ooh, pretty, I feel like it's pretty standard for the most part. If you're playing the away side and having Fudo as the anchor, I think he has a multitude of characters that'll prevent him from truly getting counterpicked because, again, it is 3 out of 5. He's going to have so much wiggle room to make these kind of adjustments, one with the same character, two with another if need be. So I think he is truly the ultimate anchor. Tried and true, right? So we'll see how this plays out. As for Daigo,
he plays two
being
completely opposite
first
archetypes as well. Sorry, go ahead, Tristan.
No, he sure does, right? I think that's super important to note is that two completely different archetypes makes him the least susceptible to the counterpick. But who would you send off against Daigo's Guile?
It's an important first game. We've seen a Gachikun volunteer for this one in the past in the Street Fighter League. I don't think Kawano would want that one neither. I mean, Narukun, sorry, Pugera makes the most sense, you know, in terms of character matchup. And actually, Good 8, unlike a lot of the other Japanese, I've seen them straight counterpicking. They are straight, like, when they're at home, I've seen them straight go, this character beats that character, and I'm feeling good. It's not just, you know, hey, I'm feeling like playing. So I think Pugera makes the most sense, or Gachikun, but I think they might not save Gachikun for anchor. We'll see. I see Pugera's talking, which would imply.
Yeah, I think that's the decision, right? It is indeed going to be Pugera rocking the Balrog, and I think this is going to be a very shallow pre-game analysis, but I think Balrog does a pretty decent job against fireballs, right? I think that's going to be like one of the main reasons why they're going to send up Pugera. For the most part, also, do you think in regards to like how the matchup goes in regards to like what both characters have under their arsenal for normals, I think Guile he still outclassed Balrog.
I don't think he'll outclass Balrog necessarily, but I do think the mitigation of the fireballs does not have as big an impact on the matchup as we thought it would in the initial stages. When this match was looking like 6.5 at one point, right? When the Guiles were all trying to boom their way into control and victory, and the boxers were just tapping and turn punching through. Sorry, V-skilling through. But what the matchup's become with the Daigo and the Higuchis evolving the character. Knuckle do as well. Shout out to him. Looking forward to seeing him back, by the way. Massive shout out to the Guiles in the world to seeing the return of Knuckle do. Like, they've turned it, like you said, the normals. Without the boom, he's got such strong normals. He can still fight these matchups quite comfortably. You know, he's at an uphill. I think it's uphill, but he can still fight these matchups very well. So we're going to see that here today. We're going to see a boom or two here. The reason the booms are effective is because he's got such annoyingly good normals in neutral versus boxer versus anyone. So you're right in that sense, especially the way Daigo plays it. Remember there was one point, Vicious, where Daigo was just training specifically for boxer. All that training's not gone to waste. He gets to utilize it again here in Street Fighter League Japan against Pugera.
I agree, and he's actually made that statement known, right? He says, I've played this several times, and then he follows it up with the very standard, I will do my best, right? Pugera actually had a counter statement. He said, last year I had an opportunity to play against Daigo. I've been losing in other tournaments against him, but I will continue to play until I win. So you already see there's a lot more on the line for Pugera than it is for Daigo. And despite being in the lead, again, it's still a 30-point deficit within first and second. So that's not going to be too much of a breeze. I think there's going to be a lot more extra pressure, added pressure for the side of Bugera, not just for points, but for pride as well in regards to tournament results. If he gets this W, this is going to skyrocket the confidence of the Good 8 squad.
Yeah, it could be a really good start. I mean, what we don't want to see as spectators, I'm sorry to be biased here, but we don't really want to see Good 8 squad run away with a 40-0 here. I mean, it's the only interesting thing about the top part of this league. Even though I know it's top 6 qualified, the only interesting thing for us in terms of that first place spot is Nagoya, Ojo Bodystar Mildom, keeping the pressure on Good 8. If they lose 40-0 here and Good 8 go to 200, they stay on 130 and the gap turns from 30 to 70. It becomes a lot less interesting up there. So I'm rooting for Nagoya. I'm sorry, I know I'm supposed to be a neutral commentator, but I love seeing things go to the wire. And if Nagoya can even get a 30-10 here, it gets very interesting moving forward for the rest of the season.
I agree. Again, it's not a matter of pretty much scoring as many points as possible at this point for Good 8 squad. It's deterring the points from the other competitors because they have such a significant lead, right? 160. Like, the biggest turnaround, actually the biggest gap outside of second place, there's an 80-point gap. Like, that's significant, man. That is 2 whole weeks of trying to get 40 bombs. And imagine if you don't even succeed at that. If you even break down the math even further, that's like what, 4 down to the wire games, down to the wire sets with people, which could happen as well. That's a huge amount of points to fall behind, right? So
it really is, and there's no easy match as well. That's what makes it harder. I mean, nothing's free. Even Hiroshima, Team IXA, right at the bottom of the table. I mean, they've got absolute killers on their squad. So you got to take the points when they're there to take them. So I like this pick. Interesting that he's been losing to Daigo statistically. Thanks for pointing that out, Bugera. I wasn't aware of that. Now I think about it, it probably makes sense. Can he break the curse here and get his team? What was that? Was that a bug check? Oh my goodness. Did he just do that? Vicious, did you see that? Oh my god, he just walked off the screen. Jeez.
It's to catch. It's to make sure that Daigo wasn't sleeping on the job. That's all. It was a courtesy.
Jeez. The courtesy, bro. It's a really good start from Bugera, man. He's really just imposing his will. Daigo sticks out that ever so reliable Sobat. So difficult to punish for Boxer. With punish system. Dash punch, and this round is coming back. Counter hit. Look how he's brought it back. Big punish on the upside down kick.
Yeah, that was a stone's throw to go too. If he had actually gotten the throw off, it would have been it. Actually, more than enough. Yes, sir. Dash punch canceling into the V trigger. It's always a dangerous spot when you get hit by Ume flash kick. But Bugera not going to be susceptible to it. Now he's been susceptible to it before. Already off to a fantastic start in changing history or rewriting history.
Yeah, very good start, and especially the fact that Daigo had some momentum there and was still able to close it out. And he's so consistently punishing that crouch medium kick. It's like, as you see, how many booms we've seen this round? It's exactly what you spoke about, Vicious. Here it is, surprise, and that's what makes it so deadly when he uses it. He knows it's not a tool he can abuse in his boxer. Oh, base out that stand throw. To the corner we go.
Oh, the overhead actually doesn't get defended against. And the stun. More than enough. Yeah, he's going to build meter at least. Oh, what?
Oh, he base out another stand throw. Bugera.
He is making a statement. I feel like was there going to be too much scaling off of the stun? I wonder, like, if you get the stun, you had 1 bar, you could have still spent EX bar to continue.
Yeah, no, he did overhead activate on hit, so he would have had a double hit scale just on the activation. He didn't have a way to kill there, so he went for the knockdown. And then, but Daigo a bit itchy with the throws. I mean, I've seen people really struggle to shimmy Daigo. You know, we saw 2 in 1 round there for Bugera, and a surprise overhead hit in there. You know, something that Daigo usually very good at blocking. It's the one time you can expect the overhead from Boxer is when he can make it safe with V-trigger activation as well. So surprised he wasn't ready for that. But great play from Bugera. Very good start. I mean, talk about playing with confidence. The start of the first round was insane. It just whoops him in man's face. Like, wow.
What was it? Was it confidence, or was it Guile's, or was it Daigo's kind of like lack of attention to the beginning of the round? I couldn't even tell. I mean, like, was he just like sitting there? I saw Pugera's end of it. I saw him walk forward, but I didn't know if Daigo was just like, what, was he down backing the whole time? He was just standing still, right? Was he standing still in neutral, or was he actually down backing?
He just stood still, yeah. He was down backing, yeah, and he just got, because his walk speed's enough to walk away from that attempt. He was down backing. I think it's interesting because start of the round against Daigo is very interesting. Against Giles is very interesting. They can throw a boom at the start of the round, but if you jump at the start of the round, then you've got a guaranteed jump in for their boom. So you know, it's often they're holding down back because they know you know that. So they're like, oh, you want to start the round with a jump? I'm going to flash kick. And he just walked, which is like an option we didn't really consider. So no boom came out. And even though Daigo teched the throw, I think that sent a message straight away, you know, for the rest of that battle. Great play from Pugera. Great mental warfare.
This is going to be a blast from the past question that has no relation to the current matchup. Do you miss watching Pugera Zabuki from Street Fighter 4?
No, not really. No, Pugera Zabuki from Street Fighter 4 was awesome. No, not really. Sako Zabuki in Street Fighter 4, I'll always miss.
That's
But
fair.
I'll tell you what I miss more than any of those, though, by miles. Fujimura Zabuki. I mean,
I agree.
in Street Fighter 5. That was. I mean, that was just ridiculous.
That was like an era in and of itself, to be honest. That was literally the Fujimura era.
So good. Oh, I love that standing short punish.
Man, it truly feels like Street Fighter 5 has so many like anime arcs to it, don't you think?
Oh, it really does. I mean, we go through so many different sequences. We're getting it now again in 5 as well. Right now, we just spoke about it, right? It's the keep out era with a bit of rushdown. We're seeing these zoning characters get really strong. Characters with strong neutral have become even stronger. I think with V-Shift, allowing people to return to neutral more often. Yeah, the era, but it's got to be the most balanced era, even though there's some serious frustrations against some characters. We're seeing a really solid round hit from Daigo as he gets opened up, gets reset. Look at that stun, it's gets for game. It's literally gets for game, Vicious. Oh, he tried to pay out another stab where he gets a counter hit. Daigo's thrown his round away. Surprise dash.
Oh my god! And nobody ever expects like the reset after the initial dash punch from mid-screen. Like I would expect maybe like a normal, or not a normal, sorry, another couple of dash punches for the overhead. But man, checking the movement or checking the low in between, that was so smart from Pugera. Speaking of which, he gets to do so again. Off of the EX dash.
That crouch jab
We talked
buffer
about
has
the
been
booms.
oh.
It has been. It truly has been. And it's been a big deterrent against Daigo trying to move forward. So now he's sticking his leg out there a little bit more, right? Crouching medium kick has been the go-to in terms of approach.
Daigo's doing a great job with that standing short to punish those dash punches, but it's quite hard to get the charge partition to do standing short into flash kick. I've seen Knuckle do that. Very difficult to do consistently. He's just going for the short into nothing. Because if he doesn't hit, I mean, geez. Game point now to Pugera. Punished, well punished. Didn't want to activate on block, was happy to take the flash kick punish.
I agree.
I just got to be careful here. We've seen these rounds just.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I was gonna say very seldom throwing out some of these booms, but when he throws them out, he makes them count without a doubt. I gotta say, like, Daigo's done a great job of sticking to the game plan and not leaving him susceptible after booms. But when it comes to like the corner pressure, you see them a lot more often, or even after like a block string too. So it's been very, very well chosen in regards to, like, he's been really picking his spots to pick the Sonic Booms very well.
Yeah, and he's throwing in the dash and the jump as well really well. The space in the jump from a certain angle as well, where it's too far away for, I think, stand medium kick to reliably anti-air. Interesting strategies there from Daigo. Matchup specific position taken, and finally a boom gets punished. Very hard to do when you hardly see them. He was ready on that occasion. EX well blocked, sorry. Blushed.
We'll take it.
Another dash from Daigo. Okay, does do the medium this time, and it does counter hit. There it is again, Vicious, as you said it.
It's so tough. Universal out. Yeah, critical art still on deck for Pugera, by the way. You're wondering maybe push out of the corner a little bit further, or actually go towards mid-screen with an EX dash punch to start things off, but there hasn't been any sort of meter usage from Pugera.
Yeah, he's had that full stick of butter for like almost 2 rounds straight now. And he's one hit away from killing Daigo. He saved it for this very reason. Daigo can't make a single mistake with reversal. Got to be careful throwing booms as well, because he will get CA'd. Bugero's got the reactions. Runs into that EX. The low. V break. 15 seconds on the clock. He needs to make something happen. His set point here.
Where's the tap?
Bugero, overhead attempt. Doesn't come. That's not the best part. It's upside down kick. Takes it. That's a great question, Vicious. I was thinking the same thing myself. Surely he's got a plan here to bust out a Rago tap level 7 or something. Didn't see it.
Had to be final.
It didn't happen.
Yeah, the way that he was kind of scheming and getting hit by some of these normals and just being very willy-nilly in regards to the approach. Like, he wasn't really doing anything aggressive. He wasn't even spending meter. You would think, you know, with a read like that or the amount of actions like that, you would make the read that a tap was coming. But it never came. Neither did like an EX dash, but nothing actually came out. Garo literally held on to that critical art for like probably 40, 50 seconds, dude.
I think we've got to credit Daigo. He's done a good job of not allowing... Oh, nice. The one boom gets punished. He's done a great job of not whiffing normals as much as he was in the first game. Actually, a lot of Bugero's momentum has come from the crouch jab buffer into the EX, which we've not been seeing the normals whiff for that to happen. That was a whiff one there, which he caught earlier. So that momentum, he spends a meter, but he gets the corner and he gets a lot of health. We've not really seen that because Daigo's not whiffing as much. So good adaptation from him, but he is cornered right now, though. And he's ready to anti-air as well. Bugero's making the adjustments here, Vicious.
Little by little, yeah, slowly pushing Daigo to the corner, but he's not going to be overzealous about it. He's not going to overextend, so he knows exactly where his domain is. He wants to kind of remain in this position where he can punish Daigo for overstepping his boundaries. He does so just right there. Crouching medium punch being a big deterrent to Daigo's advances.
This is a great round from Bugero. Rare V skill 2, didn't even realize he had that. Sweep activate. Oh, he knew a throw was coming. Should have gone for the meaty. The jump back jab punishes the throw attempt, and Bugera into game point again for his team. Good 8 can eradicate any chance of a 40-0 here. Remember, just one win is all it takes for them to guarantee they'll stay top after this. Because there'd have to be a 40-0 for them to lose that top spot. 2 bar spent.
Yeah,
oh, what an anti-air choice.
Again, Bugera is at this space where he's going to play reactionary to what Daigo is doing. He doesn't want to... He's peppering it in the corner, sure, right now. Oh, boy. But still, look at this. Look at the amount of normals that are coming in now. He's just switching the pace.
Yeah, Daigo's got it all to do now. Oh, nice timing on that boom. Gets the corner carry. Oh, meaty. Oh, he didn't make... He should have gone straight into the boom there. Wasn't ready. Maybe didn't have charge. Nice jumping. All that great health.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, bang, that's it to CA. You got it. Oh, no. It was EX's fast enough recovery. You're kidding me.
You're right.
You're absolutely right. Didn't have charge. Oh, my goodness. He's still alive. Daigo's still alive. Can he bring this back? Whip punishes the dash punch. I can't believe it. He's got the life lead. Oh, another whip punish. Daigo playing out of his mind. Bugero overextended. Walk up and throw. Are you kidding me, bitches? Are you kidding me? This guy. Oh my days. Was staring death in the face as that CA activated.
It makes sense, man. The ever-evolving legend. This guy has adapted to everything that's been thrown at him. And to be fair, yeah, that was a really big misstep from Bugera. Right, thinking he could get a critical art. He did option select it off of the backdash, like most people would, but it was indeed a faster recovery Sonic Boom or EX Sonic Boom.
And the distance you mentioned as well, when it's that far, right? It's not the full. I think was it 7 frames? It's not 7 frames from that far. From that far away, it's hitting later, so more time to recover it because he backdashed into a space that's going to have more time for it to get there. Loads of factors why it didn't work, but the fact that Daigo was ready to hold down back. You've seen so many players let go of the buttons and lose presence of mind, but he was fully ready to bring that round back, and that's exactly what he did. It's now set point both players, and Daigo just blocks a huge overhead and has a massive life lead to close this out, and suddenly Bugero, after saving that sticker butter for so long, wasn't able to close out with it. Doesn't have one now. Needs an activation on here, I think, ideally. We're going to see an overhead activate. We're going to see a turn punch activate. Dash punch.
We have to. We have to, right? How is it going to come out?
You actually tried to dash in. There it is. Daigo's in such a good position here. V reversal. Oh, the crouch is short to close it out. All the
And
right
for
choices,
Daigo,
Vicious.
He's
Wow.
It's so funny. Like immediately after that round was over, he looked over to like his desk. He's like, you know, another day at the office. Wasn't a big deal. Everything was under control. I had it from the get-go. It's fine, guys.
Gosh. Just like that. I mean, he was facing match point a few times. I don't know. I'm not sure I agree with that, Vicious. I see the head scratch a little bit. I definitely see some nerves and some relief on Daigo's face. Listen, that's a massive win. They're 30 points away from these guys. Losing any game here reduces any chance of getting eclipsing them in the table. They get the first 10 points in this set. Still a mountain to climb. And of course, as you mentioned earlier, one of the main reasons why these guys are so difficult to beat is that Fudo in anchor. So to get 10 points and have that Fudo in anchor puts them in a really good spot here, I think.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Before we even get to the stats, I do want to ask you again, with the current roster of Daigo, Akira, and Fudo being on the away side, it's like, how do you even prepare for what's to come? Cammy is still pretty damn strong, right? The nerfs were kind of mild in regards to like what she received. But before we even pose that question again, let's take a look at the stats. From as you know, the perspective of the players, like we see the anti-airs 3 out of 9 successful from the side of Pugera against Daigo. No invincible reversals for the side of Balrog.
That's really not good, Boxer. 3 out of 9 is not good enough, man.
It's tough, man. That jumping roundhouse could arc at such a different angle to get standing medium punch.
Yeah, he was. You're right. He was taking a really nice angle with it to counter reps. But still, good play. Good play from Daigo to utilize that.
Even
Only one
throw
reversal.
game,
I don't know why I feel like there was more.
Super tough.
Yeah,
that was one
sticks.
EX flash kick. I think like game number 1 where Daigo had landed it against Pugera, but Pugera still ended up getting the W. So
Okay.
I am surprised as well. That's the patented Ume flash kick, right? You would expect it maybe a little bit more, which is now kind of wild. Like we don't see that much recklessness, or I guess godlike reads from him, quote unquote. But it paid off for the better. Like, you know, he's played that matchup with confidence, and it really did show, and it really did boost him up.
I mean, his experience was just. I mean, you saw Pugera kind of lack of experience come to play there as he was trying so desperately to get that round, and Daigo just started whiff punishing the hell out of him and closed it all out. So, no, you can't deny the experience of that man. He is still an absolute legend, and still provides moments like that even now. We're going to be clipping his moments forever, I'm sure. Listen, who do they put up against? Akira, I think Kawana, maybe it makes sense. We'll see. Well, I think they've already said who it's going to be.
Yeah. I think a lot of these characters make sense. Like the entire roster actually does a pretty decent job against Hammy, I feel like. I think Bison does a pretty good job as well, kind of stopping out both the ground and the air game. But it is going to be Dogura. He's going to be the one stepping up.
I actually don't like Bison for this matchup. Don't like it. I don't like it at all. I mean, I've seen this week in, week out in our region. It's a very common matchup for us. And as much as I've seen Bison beat the crap out of Cammy, I do feel like psychological warfare and mental effort versus reward-wise, I think Cammy's definitely got an edge in the matchup. Now, Akira versus Dogura is totally different, right? Because you're talking super experienced, multiple Premier victories, multiple game victories of Dogura versus Akira, who's a relatively newer player. I'm not sure what other games he plays as well. We saw some great runs at EVO Japan and a few other tournaments. So, you know, player experience-wise might balance things out, but matchup-wise, I'm not crazy about putting a Dictator against a Cammy personally. Now, you have a different view of that. I understand. Vicious, love to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, for the most part, I think there's a lot of aggression that comes out from Akira, the way that he plays, right? He's been the speed star for a very specific reason. A lot of these cats in Street Fighter League have deemed him one of the hardest people to catch, but when you catch him, he is susceptible to falling, right? That's just the biggest thing we have to focus on, is whether or not Dogura has the kind of like mental capability to kind of like keep the pace at his level. What's funny is Dogura plays at such a slow pace very well, and he's done a great job of enforcing his will upon others more often than not. We're going to see a real big clash of playstyles here, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think Dogura, again, we've talked about the amount of experience he has. He knows what it takes to bring somebody down to his playing field. Akira, I feel like, doesn't know any bounds. Like, he hasn't really experienced those kind of threats, even in the previous season where he really got to shine. In this current season, he's still tearing people apart. Like, his stats are pretty much up there in regards to like his win statistics, I think. But this is going to be interesting. I think for the most part, if you can intimidate if you could intimidate Akira to stick to the ground game primarily, I think Dogura might have the advantage here. But if you let Akira just go about his way with like dive kicks, jumping normals, even EX hooligan, you're gonna have a bad time. You are generally gonna have a bad time.
I think it's a really good shout. And also, as you mentioned, Akira's been very good for his team so far. I think he's just lost the one game, if I'm correct. Yeah, he's taken out Luke's Yamaguchi. He's taken out Nauman's Luke as well. Very, very, very comfortable in the Luke matchup. We'll say that for sure. He lost to Torimeshi's Kami in a week where the team lost 30-10.
Yeah.
Where else have we seen Akira play? He didn't play week 1, I don't think. He's been very good for his team, man. He's got like a 70-80% win rate for the team. He's playing away from home. Put him on. Actually, Kami's not the easiest character to counterpick. She's dropped in the tier list. She's been normalized to some degree. But a lot of things they've done to Kami, they're not like... For me, they're not like skill nerfs, where a player who's skilled is going to feel the effect of that nerf significantly. I feel like a player who's skilled can still make Kami very, very effective, and she still has a very annoying game plan in Street Fighter 5 and still deletes a few characters from the cast, in my opinion, too. So Dictator coming up, he hits like a tank, so you know margin for error is going to be slim. But I'm a little surprised by that. I've seen Kawano play the Kami matchup really well. I thought maybe Kawano would come up, but like you said, Vicious, you've seen sides of this matchup, and maybe sides to Akira's game plan that make this pick make sense, right? Dogura absorbed a lot of jump-ins and still wins, you know. So who cares if you're not anti-air and if you're making the right read every single time, right? So that could be the difference too.
You have to remember that V-shift is such an important factor against dive kicks to kind of like bait the recovery, or sorry, bait the dive kick and also punish the recovery. We've seen that a good amount of times now as the game's evolved. I think Bison, with the way that he's able to deliver some of these big punishing combos, I think that's what kind of makes this matchup a little bit better for Bison. I won't say it's like completely in his favor. I will say it's like slightly like in a 0.5 scenario, but I think Dogura again, or like Bison, has a pretty decent amount of control. Like I think, you know, Hell Attack is a very big factor. I think Scissor Kick is going to occupy a lot of the mid-range game as well. Like, sure, you could fear static medium kick from Kami, but what if the Bison player decides to rebuttal with like maybe Scissor Kick, right? Like in terms of like the trade-off, who actually wins there? Like Grey Life in regards to the medium kick from Kami, or like the Scissor Kick chip plus a little bit of Grey Life on top of that from Bison? You know what I mean? Like, we're going to see a lot of tit for tat in regards to the ground game, but I think it really relies on how Dogura prevents the air game from even happening.
That's the big factor there, Vicious, to the T. I think Bison plays the ground game in this matchup really well, actually, but it's when she starts taking to the air, which she should do, because Bison doesn't have a reliable anti-airs for Kami's jump game. That's when it gets really interesting. How does the Dictator deal with it? And if the Dictator is absorbing jump-ins, how does he handle the pressure that comes afterwards? That often determines the results of this particular matchup. There's a jump-in, for example. Makes the right read. Oh, gets his jump wrong this time. Gets back for it. Nice start here for Dogura. Oh, that was tricky. Minus on that scissor. Still got the light kick out. Yeah, looking to confirm that roundhouse. Sorry, that stand heavy.
Look at that. Now we've gone. Yeah, so Akira is not going to be playing that long-range game or the mid-range game for too long. He's going to actually kind of walk in your space intentionally. That is a big critical error against someone like Dogura, because not only does the punish happen, but he gets out scot-free with the scissor kick side switch.
I love the side switch. Love that side switch. He could have actually taken more damage there. Sacrificed damage just to get the corner back. And look at the... Oh, and it baits that. That's so annoying. You're looking for the jump and she does a short one instead. And she got the trip recovery to make it worse. That's unsafe. Oh, could have done more damage there. Where are you going?
Oh!
Ah, 2+. That light kick into Scissors nerf from a few seasons ago sucks for Dictator, but still plus when that EX Scissor hits. On block. And frozen in time there was Akira. Wow! That hit late. Another jump in. He just doesn't know what's coming.
Again, one of the only Kamis to really exercise the EX hooligan. And look at that, just mixing up all the options. Actually, no, two back-to-back jump medium punches. You never know what you're going to get. Akira is like a box of chocolates, I'll tell you what.
Nice wake-up buttons there before the reversal was coming. Oh, medium kick activate. That was slick.
Oh, it was actually kind of nuts.
Oh, look at the punish. You're kidding me. No. You're kidding me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Diggity doggity diggity doggity diggity doggity. Jeez, this guy.
Dogura.
Is he going to close it out, though? Are we celebrating too early, Vicious? Has Akira got a plan?
No, not at all.
Oh, he tries to bait. Look, he tries to bait out some kind of anti-air there with a short dive kick. These
He has
Candy
hit
players.
confirm into trigger into critical art, and he wins. That's
Exactly.
Akira's win condition. And he can get
It's
that
momentum fact,
in,
yeah.
in a plethora of ways, that's for sure.
Not going to get a
The medium
chance.
kick!
Beautiful patience and control, spatial control there from Dogger. This is what I'm talking about. How many jump-ins did he absorb that second round? How many? I think it was like 6.
With his face, I don't know, man. Like he's definitely he's definitely been jumped in on. Like remember, in that round, he got jumped in on 2 times in a row, and then immediately had to just like sits there and just block for the rest of them.
Yeah, I mean, crazy. This is a crazy thing of these Bison. I've seen Paul the Mex do this too. These Bison players, I think these matchups where they have to absorb jump-ins are definitely to their disadvantage, but they're so used to having to deal with that pressure, it almost doesn't determine the outcome of the round for some reason. It just doesn't, you know? You can eat 2 clean jump-ins on hit, then take about 4 on block, followed by immense pressure, make the right reads on those 4 on block, get your activation, and suddenly you're back in the round. I mean, really impressive from Dogura. Akira's going to be scratching his head as to how he wasn't able to close out that round. He's going to go back into this next one. Is that a costume change? I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, so he has a little fun fact about him. Every time he switches into the holiday costume, he finds success, and that's actually been a proven. It's been a theory, and it's actually been proven right a good amount of the time.
I like that he doesn't start with the holiday costume. He wants to keep it there as his almost like his counter pick.
Yeah, there's seasonal. Sorry, there's the jumpsuit outfit cami, and then there's the seasonal cami. That is for sure going to be like his play. Look at that. Look at how much more aggressive he is on the ground. He's keeping it a lot more tight-knit, right? He's not opting for the air game. He's actually found some ways to thread the needle against Bison up close.
Sorry about that. The reversal connects. Big bet.
Oh! Ooh, that was that like a little bit of impatience coming from the side of Dogura? But it was what, like 58 seconds on the clock. A very large hill to climb, very uphill battle for him, but usually he plays out the time. Oh, another jump in, finding the mark. Akira smells blood.
He has him cornered here. That's that medium kick has been getting. He's placed that so well. Wow, that was on purpose. That was a whiff punish to the stand fierce. Beautiful play from Akira. His game is stepping up here. Oh, that was a bad neutral jump though. Dogura's ready for it. Hell attack to punish. Wake up buttons though. Ooh, lucky it wasn't a dive kick. Surprise the X scissor connects.
And I love that big whiff punish.
That was meaty stand jab. Gets the stun there. Builds the meter with the forward throw. Man, that meaty stand jab into the stand medium. Beautiful combo. It is now game point. Dogura, good 8 squad.
We talked about that medium kick nerf, right? Being susceptible to whiff punishes a lot more often than not. And yeah, finds a counter to the dive kick, but didn't commit to the standing heavy punch.
Just can't get going there. Dogura's too solid. Okay, nice confirm on that crouch medium. Oh, too far. Should have gone for the medium kick. Catches her trying to jump forward with a hell attack. The anti-airs have got better as the set's gone on. Nice, that medium stand fierce though. Catches that medium.
Ooh.
Press the jab afterwards. Akira needs an opening here. Nice punish. Great awareness.
So
wake up my kick though. Oh. Dogura's got to be careful here.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, that was disgusting. He covered half the screen with that dash forward, war forward. Then got the stand fierce to punish the throw and a huge smile of relief on his face as he ties it up to 1 apiece. And Dogura looked in a scary position there, but he just made the mistake, just hesitated and take the throw. And boom, now you have it. 1 apiece. They're still on course for a 40-0 here, Vicious.
No, you're right.
There's a long way to go,
that's
but
the craziest thing. Yeah, I mean, we still see it, right? We still have Daigo pretty much getting those 10 points, right? Akira, again, starting to make that comeback happen. Just when you thought it was safe to actually press the button, this guy moving in lightning quick. Again, he's called lightning for a reason. He plays such a fast ground game that it's so unpredictable to figure out or even like react to, right? Even somebody as seasoned as Dogura, this man is definitely like cooked well done in regards to like how much he's been in the heat for fighting games. I'm getting hungry, you can tell. But yeah, Akira again throwing him off guard with the dash up, getting the throw bait either way, super slick. Something that Dogura didn't see coming.
Yeah, really clever there to extend towards throw range. We saw him walk up and throw a few times earlier. If you recall, he'd extend, walk up, and throw, and it was teched both times. So on this occasion, the extend, walk up, and then bait out the shimmy. Nice play. All right, one apiece. We'll see if Dogura has recorded the information to make the adaptation here, or if Akira's going to ride that momentum all the way to a victory. Gets cross countered, hesitated, Psycho Axe connects. First Psycho Axe cross counter we've seen.
Oh. We saw Dogura actually commit to the Cycle Blast afterwards, but still catching Akira mid-air. Now he's trying to control it. Wow. That is a big bet that goes punished.
Dun's still there. Ooh, that was guaranteed. Should have buffered into a cancel. This stand medium kick so pestering. Nice trap there. Oh, he went a bit too far there. Yeah, I think he went for a walk forward roundhouse or something. Yeah, it was an immediate throw tech from Dogura. Wasn't the right offensive choice to bait that out. Set point again.
I mean, if you're in Akira's shoes, what are you doing right now? Are you going to still try to take to the skies? Do you spend that bar for EX?
Ow. No.
Oh my
God. He was going to press a button, he didn't. Akira's getting impatient here. Oh, it's all going wrong. Stun? No, he wants the one-hit stun. No punish on that V-shift. He's got a mountain to climb here, but can he do it? No V-trigger available either. I don't think he'll even get one this round. Missed his dive kick. It's all going wrong for Akira.
So tough.
EX, this is going to be it. Yes, walk up, bro.
You know, we talked about this before the matchup even started. Sending up Dogura was definitely the call from Good 8 Squad, right? Being able to control Akira and control that ground game at a superior level.
Called it. Hey, no we there. You called that. You called that, man. I was like, I don't know about the Dogura pick, but you've been proven extremely right here with that one.
I mean, there was just a lot that have been for the way that Dogura has been playing against like the other players, and even like the way they've both been playing, like this is just data from last year, right? You could see like these two blatant play styles kind of clash. I feel like in terms of longevity, Dogura's play style pretty much prevails no matter like what the character. Even if you have somebody like Cammy in a speedy style that Akira wants to play it, I think the amount of control that Dogura has with Bison is always going to prevail in the end. I think in regards to like I think like the analysis I gave was more based off of like a player matchup. It could be different in the way it could be played out differently. So again, I think it's just one of those. I think one of the Japanese metas in regards to like how this matchup was played out, it just happened to be in Dogura's favor this week. Right? We'll see how it plays out next time. So as it stands right now, you want to take another crack at the statistics here?
Yeah, sure. I believe we're looking at throw techs at the very bottom, right? So we're seeing a 2 out of 7 throw tech rate for Akira, 2 out of 5 for Dogura. So both of these guys, you know, very reluctant to take throws. You know, a lot of the times we're seeing these throw attempts get jabbed as well. Those don't get recorded, so that's a way to stop a throw as well. Only the one reversal from Akira, it did actually hit, and then anti-air wise, not many jumps from Bison, which I expect to see. But look at that anti-air rate from Dogura, and that is very common, by the way. That is common for most Dictator players, apart from maybe Hot Dog, who's very good at consistently anti-air, but he'll lose rounds where he anti-airs like 10 times, right? So, but man, still winning with only a 27% anti-air rate against Cammy, that says it all, man. That says it all.
You mentioned that earlier, right? Like characters like our players like Problem X will kind of just sit there and absorb some of these jump-ins. They're just used to it at this point.
Yeah, man, you play Dictator, you sacrifice a tremendous amount of concentration to anti-air, so you almost just say, you know what, if I can't anti-air muscle memory wise, I'm just gonna have to take a few of these jump-ins and I'll check the dashes, you know? sometimes they just make that choice, and you know, Doggerod did very well in that regard. Really impressive. That's a big result, 10 apiece as well. Eliminates any chance of being leapfrogged. They will be top at the end of this game, no matter what. Worst case scenario for them is a 30-10 loss. So they've got themselves 170 points now instead of 160. And of course, Mildom moved to 140 with their first 10 points. Now we move to the very important game, and the game that we spoke about earlier, where I do feel Good 8 will be challenged. As you said, and I couldn't agree with you more, Fudo as anchor is just a force. And the fact that those of you tuning in late to Street Fighter League, yes, you're character locked for the first battle, but you can change characters if you lose. And it's a 3 out of 5 for that damn game for 20 points. So you lose, you're 1-0 down, but your opponent's still got to beat you 2 more times with your new character if you choose to counter pick. So really well said, Vicious. I couldn't agree more, bud.
Well, looking at this final decision, without actually looking, we do know who's coming up next. Oh, dang it. I was going to say if you could not look at the screen, but it's impossible. It was either Kawano or Gachikun. I was actually going to pick Rashid with Gachikun to go up to bat instead of Colleen.
Wait, what?
But look at the big surprise.
What character is Kawano playing, Vicious? What?
It is indeed the Lucia pick instead.
Wow,
That is a huge surprise.
okay,
What's actually kind of
okay.
wild too, we've seen a couple of people counter pick Poison with Vega. I think Punkit tried to exercise that on one of his streams for a good amount of time to practice specifically against Idom. He actually found a little bit of success, I think, at one of the East Coast locals. But yeah, so Kawano had actually practiced a Vega also in regards to the Poison matchup, but I have not seen him actually show off the Lucia on either like CFN or his stream. So I'm very confused.
He's been very vocal of the fact that he is looking for another character. He does feel like, despite winning Evo, he does feel like Colleen took too big a nerf. You know, she got hurt. They went a bit too far with the normalization or weakening of the character. He's been quite vocal about that fact that he's still in a search. I didn't know Lucia was an option though. Like you said, I've seen some matches on CFN. I've seen his YouTube uploads recently, uploaded by other players. I don't think I've seen Lucia. If I have, I missed it. Very interesting. And it's going to be Lucia. I don't know if this is specifically for Poison as well. I don't know how well Fudo knows this matchup. This is very interesting. This one for all the beans, guys. 20 points on the line, 3 out of 5. Good 8 squad sitting top of the table are whipping out Kawano with Lucia to take on Fudo's Poison.
Very excited to see it, to be honest with you. I've never really seen
Wow,
this
the whiff punishes.
Shown off. It's been so consistent right now for Kawano. Look at the amount of pressure. No uppercut! What?
Yeah.
You actually have one of those now. You don't have to suffer.
Oh, the whiff. Did you see that whiff punish? Oh my days, I'm seeing things. Matchup specific things, boy. Activation. This is one hell of an introduction to this matchup.
Let's go.
Jeez, the Lucias must be watching this like, no, we win this matchup. Everyone, what are you talking about? I'm sorry, I don't know, guys. I'm learning as I'm watching.
I don't either. I literally only watched James Chen play this character, and most of the time he's suffering. So.
Yeah, I've seen Tupac with his Lucia play this matchup, and it doesn't go very well most of the time when I see him play it. But I'm seeing some really concise choices and positional occupation here from Kawano. And I don't think he's picked Lucia as this is my new character. I'm definitely feeling, just from that first round, I've picked Lucia because I think I've got answers. And it's looking exactly like that right now with that huge error. Look at that string. Checks the dash. Activation into the C8. No activation. Oh my days, that's a dead poison, surely.
100%. What's wild about that is I think, you know, as impressive of a start Kawano had, I think in game 2, that was sheerly Fudo making critical errors. I think there was 2 back-to-back errors that obviously led to his demise.
Second round,
like
you mean?
in total, you're looking at like, yeah, sorry, second round. That was like what, 60%, 65% damage based off of those big errors alone.
Few big errors, yeah. But the errors, I think, are a result of discomfort. I mean, you're getting whiff punished for doing a crouch fierce half screen. I mean, into corner carry, into Oki. That's a pretty big deal if you're a Poison player. This is a matchup I've not even thought to analyze. And just from that one round, I'm going to go watch that one round back. I'm going to look at all the positions he occupied and tell myself, as a Poison player, what do I want to be doing in this position? If it's the things that are getting punished, then this matchup is in question straight away. And there's a reason why Kawano's gone with this character for this matchup. I'm not sure Fudo's as familiar with it as well. I mean, He fell for every chap out there and then started making categorical errors, Vicious. Fascinating
I'm
choice.
actually about to put jammers on speed dial really soon. Be like, yo, man, Femi and I have a question about Poison. What's going on between Poison and Lucia? And then I can't do the jammers impersonation yet. It's too much higher than my current voice.
All right, you've got me here for that. So the matchup is completely one-sided in Lucia's favor. 7-3.
And he's gonna tell me to never bother him again while he's reading his manga.
Oh no, don't be disturbing. Listen, I was on a Eurostar with that guy. And he had his mangas out, and listen, I tried to tap his shoulder a few times. He wasn't happy about it. Yeah.
He's enjoying his glass of wine as we speak, and I see you on my phone, Jammers. I see you, brother. Much love to you, fam.
Surely he's just on an SF6 beta right now. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, he definitely has us on the line, by the way. He's been dialed in since from the get-go. So he is indeed watching Fluto the way he's operating thus far in this particular matchup. Again, he hasn't found success with it yet. He did kind of take his time.
Tell him to rate my Jammers impression
reassess.
out of 10. I'm expecting a 9.5.
Jammers, how do you feel about the impression? We'll talk about that later either way. I want to know the answer.
Oh my days.
Yeah.
Did you see that? He just did the raw legs. She can't whiff anything.
Why not?
Tick throw. Check the dash. This is complete.
Ooh.
Punish the range on the sweep. Oh
Yes.
my goodness. This is utter domination. Get Jammers on the line. I want all the details for this matchup. This is utter domination. Good Lord.
This is the character. This is the character against Poison.
Go
Yo,
in.
you're crouching. You get a full
Good corner carry.
Oh.
Bare answers. Look where he stands. Look where he stands. Just do that. Safe on block anyway. Back dash. Stun racking up.
Oh, that's so smart too.
Oh
my God,
days,
that
stop that! Stop that!
What?
Wow, that was a Viros, wasn't it? My
It had to
Vicious.
be.
How long has Lucia been out? How long has Poison been out? Where's Jammers?
For a while.
Oh
For a
my
while.
days. This
For a pretty long
look,
while. Longer than Poison, that's for sure. No, actually, no, the same time as Poison, I should say.
there's clearly some familiarity, you know, lack of familiarity on the Fudo side as well, right? But look at that, look at that. No, stop this. We're seeing something new every round.
It's on the other side!
What? It's still
What?
here. It's just running in her face.
What?
Fudo cannot slow this down. Good 8 are in big trouble here. They're going to give up a lot of mileage in that top spot.
No, good 8's in a fantastic spot. What do you mean? Kawano's doing just
Oh,
fine.
sorry. My bad. My bad.
You're good, man. You're totally good. And so is Kawano. Look at that. The amount of damage you get off of a low now is
man.
insane. It's so insane.
this is
You're
terrible.
looking at a 3-peat. You're looking at a 3-peat right now.
I want to find out
Oh, there
Kawano's
we
Smurf
go.
account. He's definitely got a Smurf account. He's been training this Lucia online. There's no way he's just been in training mode. Oh, she's dead.
Oh, you still had trigger?
Oh my
You
God.
still had a little bit of trigger
Oh my
left?
God.
You crazy.
Wow.
person. Oh my God. Match point. Tournament point. Well, not tournament point. Sorry, match point. I got a little bit ahead of myself.
I want to count sweeps with punish. Like, seriously. Like, the sweeps have been so consistent with the whiff punishing, with the punishes on block. Can't keep her out. That roundhouse space in the fierce afterwards.
Space and trap.
Delay. Oh
crouch,
my
and
days,
medium
the stun
plunge.
rack it up.
You're just gonna,
Good
he's gonna
8
catch
squad's
out.
going to be running away with this one. Gets the
Watch out for back
game.
throw.
He tags. Oh my days. No, she
This
can't
guy's
press anything.
genius.
She can't press anything. This matchup looks long.
This guy's is
Oh
a
my
bona
days.
fide genius.
Wow.
Actually dissected the head.
Lucia.
Oh my God. That
Lord,
was
that
an absolute clinic.
6 rounds straight? 6
That
rounds
was-
straight?
dude.
Gachiku not even needed? Vicious? Gachiku not even required?
What?
My goodness. Street Fighter 5 still pulling out all the stops. We're getting ready for the new Street Fighter and we're still learning the new stuff here. Good Lord, that was impressive.
This has to be the match of the league. Like this, if there's any matchup to really highlight throughout the entirety of Street Fighter League 2022 for Japan, this is the match. This is
in
the,
terms
this
of like
has, the-
MVP performances, like this is like the fact that he actually won Evo with with Colleen and still felt in a dilemma and still went away and took the time to learn other characters and turns up with Lucia. I mean, we've seen a few pretty decent players rock the Lucias and not take her to that level. And take on, we were just speaking about, what were we speaking about before the set? Like, the biggest challenge you have to beat Mildom is Fudo in anchor. I mean, Fudo in anchor is such a strong anchor. It's almost like we cursed him Vicious, because this guy had clearly expected Fudo in anchor. Spent the whole week probably studying this matchup, seeing there's a slight edge or maybe a big advantage. And look at the results, 6 rounds straight, absolute pummeling. I don't even think he lost half health on any of those rounds. Wow, just, I got no more words.
I got a few. Hot damn, that was good. That was some really, really good Street Fighter 5. I think that if I had any closer neighbors, I would probably be evicted. I think my roommates are gonna kick me out soon. But I will say that has been the biggest like counter pick we've seen utilized thus far in the league. In regards to like, you know how it's been pretty evenly matched in terms of like the counter pick stuff from like home and away. This was the most one-sided, and it's weird to say that it's the most one-sided because who was on the receiving end? It was Fudo. Fudo and Poison.
Dude, yeah. And Fudo's Poison has been a force this season and beyond. I'm just pulling up Fudo's results now, just to make sure I'm not. I mean, I remember I've watched you guys as well, but I've not commentated. He won week 1. He won week 2. Did he win week 3 as well? Yeah, he won week 3. He won week 4. He's won every single time he's played. He's on 100% win rate. Fudo with Poison. I think he pulled out Mika once for Tomiyashi. 100% win rate. Halted 6 rounds straight by the newcomer of Lucia with Kawano. I mean, holy moly, that is a statement. Just when you thought good 8 were already at their peak, they seem to be getting better.
What are these glasses? First and foremost, these are actually kind of hype. I don't know what these are in the end, like, but I need to get my hands on that. But I will say again, you are absolutely one of the money. Yeah. I don't know what they are, but I definitely want them. I'm gonna go to Japan. I'm gonna talk to Dogura about it. We're gonna figure it out. But I think that was the showcase of Street Fighter 5 right there. It's so wild. We still see the meta changing before our very eyes. This late in the game, Lucia. Look at the amount of work that Kawano's put in with his character, and look at the amount of success he's yielded in that amount of time.
I'm gonna message Jammers and ask him, does he know this matchup? What does he think of it? Because good lord, that is that looked horrible.
I'm gonna message James. I'm gonna be like, dude, you need to watch Kawano play as Lucia and watch him cook. That's gotta inspire you to keep going with this character, because this was phenomenal. I've never seen Fudo bleed like that in the history of ever. Have you?
I got love for Fudo, man. Even when he was Mr. Second Place, he always took it to the wire. Agreed. I mean, I haven't seen him dominated like that, maybe ever. That was disgusting. And look, let's give him some credit. He clearly doesn't know as much about the matchup as Kawano does. He needs to go and study that, get the run back, figure it all out. Maybe he goes Mika, maybe he figures some stuff out with Poison. But regardless, Kawano, that's the most dominant match we've seen in any of the anchor matches, and to do it against the best anchor player so far this season, it's just one hell of a statement. Wow.
Yeah. There were a couple of times where we've had 3-0s from other anchors, but I think this is easily the most dominant one. Actually, there was only one time over where we actually had a 3-0 in the anchor spot. If I'm not mistaken, that was week number 3 between Dogura and John Takeuchi. But that was very, very slow paced, I feel like, between those two. This one, oh, actually, I'm sorry. Momochi also had one against Mizuha, Cody versus Cody. That one also was kind of like back and forth in regards to the rounds. This was, I think, the first time we've seen an utter blowout 6 rounds straight.
I'm talking to Jammers now, and actually I want to get the interview feedback, but before we get to that, Jammers is saying he thinks the matchup is slightly in Poison's favor. Not free at all. He thinks the Cyclone Spinner, you know, the run that moved that was being abused, is really good against Poison. You think? I mean, he wasn't doing it. He was doing it on a whim, but he was also doing it as a whiff punish as well. He was in the EX Cyclone Spinner as a whiff punish too. So I don't know, Jammers, man. I think you need to play. I think you need to play Kawano, bro. I'm not sure you're gonna think that matchup's in Poison's favor after what we just saw. Good lord, the answers. So many answers. So what we hear in these interviews, Vicious. Jammer's saying he plays Poison and he plays Lucio as well. That's interesting. But yeah, what was the interview saying?
I don't believe Jammers for a second. Actually, no. I have the utmost confidence in Jammers' analysis. He's always been on point. Pugera actually said that some parts of the matchup went well, some as expected. He made one miss, he panicked a little bit, and he lost his patience. Umehara has way more experience in many ways in that regard, and that's true. That's actually
really
very true.
I love the self-analysis. Is very accurate. Very honest with himself there. Love that.
Usually he answers in like profound statements. I'm glad he's keeping it more straightforward this season, and I appreciate him for it, by the way. Dogura, in his match with Akira, he says he was able to win, but he was thinking about our good... Man, this actually hurts. He was thinking about our good old times. And he says, when I see Fudo the next time, I think he would have a few words to me as well. They were all on the same team last season. Gachikun himself had mentioned, I don't think I've ever missed a match. He was the reserve player, and he was still nervous. But he also thinks that they were able to show how much they want to win. They're so determined, especially with their defeat from last year, falling just short, too. Especially with Kawano also changing up from Colleen to Vega in that very last second in the grand finals of last year. He talks about this
that was
now,
strange, wasn't it?
He says, I think all teams need to work on beating the Lucia matchup. The teammates had worked hard with me on this one, in this particular matchup. About a month ago, he had just prepped himself in regards to playing this character. So again, it's taken him at least a month to get him to this level with the help of his teammates as well.
So it's got nothing to do with just straight counter picking Poison. It's more just awareness of the Poison matchup because he's been rinsing Lucia, playing with his teammates, getting ready for this for the last month. Imagine a guy who wins Evo with an extremely nerfed version of his character. What is it, 3 weeks into the nerf? Then picks up a new character and has a month to lab with her. I'm not surprised to see what he's doing already with the character. By the way, it's early days with his Lucia, so watch out, everybody. Gachikun with more to say here. We'll continue to prep ourselves to keep winning. I mean, to think that they just won that, already top of the table. Gachikun didn't even play. It's almost like they have a player reborn with Kawano's Lucia. I mean, it's going to take something to stop Good 8 Squad this season. It's going to take something vicious.
Look at the stats, man. I feel like there wasn't even a lot of play from the side of Fudo. The only high number he has is the amount of throws he's teched. 5 out of 11, 45%. But look at this, just sheer and utter dominance.
I wish they had a statistic for percentage of time spent in the corner. That would be a nice stat to see. It'd be in the 80s or 90s, I think, you know?
Yeah, I agree. This is the only time where we've actually seen sheer dominance. I can't under that more enough. I will say, you know, anti-air department, 50%, not too bad. EX wake-up DPs, not too bad as well, 100% on the mark. And the grab and throws, he's teched at least one attempt. And that was the only attempt that ever came from Fudo. Again, to be fair, we didn't even get to see Fudo play. And that is a statement in and of itself. We didn't even get to see Fudo play.
Fudo in this team tournament. Well, I don't remember seeing. Oh yeah, he was. He was in the. Yeah, he was in the anchor match, wasn't he? Good lord.
I thought he got DQ.
Yeah, it was quick. It wasn't a button check. It was just quick and painful. No, he played. Apparently, he did play. Listen, that's impressive, man. I can't even knock Fudo too much. All the credit goes to Kawano. And I can't even knock the matchup. We know nothing about the matchup other than what we just seen. There are definitely some elements that look like they work in Lucia's favor. But again, 20% of that goes to the matchup. 80% goes to Kawano. Just good lord. Just that kid's just put in the work. So ready. Not letting his character nerf slow him down at all. He's got a new character. And like he said, I love the statement. Everyone's got to learn to beat Lucia now. 190 points, I think they're on now at the top. There you go.
That's correct.
Man, they go. So what? 140 to those guys. 50 points clear. Good lord. I mean, I don't know how you stop them. Let's take a look at the highlights from the set we just saw. Vicious Daigo getting his team off to a good start here with a very close game against Fugera.
Yeah, I think
Talk
at
us
one
through
point
this.
we had thought that Pugera might have been able to react to get the W for the matchup. That was like the backdash and the critical art. I'm positive it'll be highlighted. But how we even got there, there was a ton of mix-ups from the side of Pugera that just wasn't gonna be enough to be caught on Daigo's radar. Again, that first game, pretty convincing from Pugera. However, we did see a little bit of a difference here from Daigo. What did we see here? Femi?
Yeah, Daigo changed it up, man. He started encroaching on the space where it's very difficult to react to the booms. And he made it very uncomfortable for Pugera to get his game going. Now look at his comeback. This is the comeback, isn't it? Oh, no, I'm thinking of Daigo's comeback. No, this is where Pugera loses. Yeah, you're going to see the CA is going to get blocked, right? No, this isn't the one.
My mistake.
Oh, I wish
they
they
didn't
showed that highlight. That highlight was
Dang.
crazy. That was crazy, man. There were some amazing moments, those of you joining late in that set. And then, of course, we had Dogura, who put himself up. Remember, they're the away team here this week. They put themselves. That was so sick. That medium into the bomb, into the detonation. Sorry. Put himself up voluntarily against Akira. Look at his whip punish. That's disgusting. Do not V reversal scissor at that point. Do not, because man's ready.
Man's ready indeed. Look at this.
BE stand jab.
Dominance. Ugh, disgusting. And then towards the end, these final moments, what had happened? Yeah, so we
was
see
nice.
the Speed Star actually get a whip punch and a big sigh of relief. He actually leaned back in his chair. He's like, whew, I actually got that. But what transpired afterwards, you know, RIP to the young Speed Star. Plus frames again, and just slightly walking up. And Dogura with the quickness, Dogura actually moving his stick aside.
Look at that.
This guy was confident.
Stop that. So, yeah, he was just on one. On one. I mean, we saw some really cool things that round. We didn't see much poison and stuff at all. I mean, there was a lot of errors as well, actually, Vicious. You called that out.
Yeah.
Look at that string. I love that string.
That was an unfortunate highlight of game number one. We were gonna brush that aside. It's like, all right, well, that was just Fudo kind of getting flustered, not really ready for the matchup. We start to see it, but then we see what actually
Another whip
happens
punish.
once Fudo's quote unquote ready. Oh my
Jeez,
God,
look at the
that's so
range on that
beautiful to
sweep.
see.
So good.
So far. It's so quick and it's so far.
Quick as well, yeah. Far and quick. I mean, these highlights have just been spent on the right. Like the left-hand side of my laptop is getting no love at all. I'm just looking on the right-hand side of my screen, watching Fudo get absolutely pummeled in the corner for 6 rounds straight. What an impressive performance from Kawano. Just a massive statement to the rest of the league, and everyone's got to do their homework for Lucia now.
I'm very excited to see the growth of Kawano and his newfound confidence with Lucia. I'm excited to see now who's going to step up to the plate to even try to take down the Titans of Good 8 squad. They haven't pulled up too far where it's out of reach, right? They did score 30 points for themselves. Still pretty solid. V6 plus FAV Gaming, again, also getting 30 points, getting themselves
Huge
out of
for
that
them.
bottom
Huge
two
week for them because
position.
you can see what that did to V6. They were bottom 2, and because there's only 10 points between the bottom 4, I think it was, shoots them all the way up to 3rd. So massive result for them. You can see, as we mentioned earlier, Good 8 are now on 190 points. So massive week for them too. They pull away further, 50 points clear at the top. It was a top of the table clash this week. I mean, Star Mildon really had a chance to close the gap, but they weren't able to. And we've got some other matches coming up next week when I won't be there, Vicious, but you and Cola will be what are the matches, Vicious?
Oh, well, it's going to be Hiroshima Team Ikuza versus Shinobiism Gaming, as well as Komufa Detonation going up against Gyogun. Yo, Femi, F-word, it's been an absolute pleasure. You are quite the legend. Any closing comments?
Listen, I know we got the Street Fighter 6 on the horizon, but if you're a professional player and you're not at home doing some labbing against Lucia, you're in for some serious trouble at Capcom Cup, at Street Fighter League Finals, because Kawano is putting that character on the map. That one game has got me buzzing to see more of what that guy can do. So just watch out is all I can say, man. Jeez.
It's only the beginning. We still have plenty more games, plenty more weeks here at Street Fighter League Japan. You guys do not want to miss it. There's the schedule. Take a screen cap of it. This has been the Street Fighter League Japan English commentary. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We sure have as well. And we can't wait to see you out in the streets for the next one. My name is Vicious, closing it out with F-word, and it's been an absolute pleasure. Everybody, all Street Fighter 5 fans, take care, have a good one, and be safe.
本日は第5節 Day1 の2試合をお届けいたしました。 実況は私 R、そして解説は七井さんでお送りいたしました。七井さんありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。